This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 215.
Let's do this thing.
Let's friggin' do it.
Let's go.
Ready?
Let's go.
Hey, let's,
I'm recording.
I'm recording. TC recording?
I am.
Let's
I
cheers.
was born recording.
Let's cheers
Hey,
ourselves.
we're gonna virtual cheers.
Hey.
Cheers, you guys.
Hey. I'm clinking glass over here.
I'm doing plastic on metal because I'm drinking a nip before I start my beer.
Like a classy man.
Like a wino.
Yeah. So, Hell. We watched Hell. Like Jerry Lundegaard. We watched friggin' 100 movies.
Dirty talk.
Yeah. So congratulations, I guess. We're going to do a very special episode.
100 movies.
100 movies.
Right.
That's 100 weeks.
It's not just the movies that get you down. It's the 100 podcasts.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's the podcast
At least
that
we
really...
know. At least we know now it's an easy math, right? It's 100 weeks, so it's 2 years.
2 years.
Now we can go to 2 years.
2 years.
Right, that's true. Oh,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, no, so it's not a year and a half ago anymore. It's
Right.
2
We're
years
at a
ago.
solid 2 years. And
Yeah.
We'll stick with that for a while.
Yeah, right. Oh, no, it'll be 2 years for the next 2 years. But, you know,
Yeah.
I'm
And
excited.
The movies are the most enjoyable part, right? That's what we all signed up for.
No,
Little did we know the podcasts themselves are very unenjoyable for the most part.
No, the podcast is the most fun. The movies suck.
Well, is that
On
true?
that note,
On that note.
have a good one,
Yeah.
everybody.
So, yeah.
Don't
here's
do it. Don't watch all these movies. I would. Yeah.
Don't trust IMDb ever.
I doubt there's one person on the planet that would like every single one of these movies.
But I still feel better that I'm glad to have watched them all. Good.
Well,
and
and
bad.
let me reiterate, don't trust IMDb users.
Yes.
IMDb
But-
itself is great.
Yeah.
The users,
that too.
not so great.
Yeah. So this year I did this year. Fuck, it's been a year since we did this last time.
Fuck.
God
Yeah.
damn it. Anyway, this year I did the same thing. I gave Sean all of our top 5 of our favorite movies that we watched of the past 50 movies. So that's movie 200 through movie 151, from Jurassic Park all the way to Gran Torino. So we all picked separately
From
our top
one dinosaur
5.
to another.
Oh, that's pretty good there, John. Pretty good.
I see what you did there. That was clever.
You drinking a White Russian over there to loosen you up a little bit?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
I think I'm funny now. See?
Exactly. That's all you need. It's the best part of alcohol.
You guys mixing your booze.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Aw.
Going straight for the vein.
Yes. And also,
You.
besides, so we did that separately, top 5, and then we're also going to do our top 3 least
Or
favorite movies.
bottom 3, yes.
Bottom 3, yeah.
Bottom fetus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave it to Sean, and last year, we had such different picks that we were able to go from 5 to 1 without worrying about overlap and repeating ourselves and things like that. This
I have a
year,
feeling that's not going to be the
not
case
the
this
case
year.
this year.
Okay.
Sean said it's a lot of overlap, and he gave me 70% of the movies are repeated that we picked.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Oh, we got statistics from Sean.
We got-
Thank
Yeah,
you.
what kind of, I mean, there's like, what? Geez, he's doing stats for like 10 movies?
Well, yeah,
8
I mean,
movies?
all you have to do is get a calculator, and it's like 25
Hey,
movies.
don't-
Hey, whoa,
Don't
whoa,
pick on
whoa,
the
don't
man.
you bring him down. He did stats, data.
Yes, he did
Yeah.
numbers. Well,
All
I
right.
think. I didn't check him,
Yeah.
but I believe
Yeah.
him. He is also a math man. So
Well, what does that mean? You don't know the list?
So what that means is that we have to do it a different way, and the best way, because like I don't want to repeat ourselves, right? We don't want to like my top 5 favorite is this, and then someone else is his third favorite, and they repeat the same
Right.
shit, and then the number
Right.
So
one
what are we
person.
going to do? We're just going to scream it out all at once?
Yeah, exactly. Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3.
That's the Worcester way.
That's
Yeah.
right. You just come out with it.
So I came
Yeah.
up with this idea. Let me know if you guys think it's a good idea. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with number 5 in round robin. So say TC starts with number 5. TC, don't say it yet, but you say your 5, and then if me or John also have that movie in our 5 to number 2 list, we say it, and then the person with it ranked the highest gets to start talking about it.
Oh, we can't say for the number 1.
No,
huh?
keep
'Cause you
number
wanna
1
still keep
out of it
that-
because we'll each do our number 1 separately, and we'll repeat ourselves if we have to do that. Because I feel
Okay.
like we want some,
A little bit of like, hey, all right, man. Wow,
You
this
know?
is nuanced.
it is nuanced. I've been thinking about it. I think it's a pretty good way to do it. Does that make sense? I can kind of explain it as we do it too. It should be pretty.
No, it makes sense. I think I'm for it.
Okay.
I didn't listen to a word you said. So
Okay.
just start.
All right. So TC, what is your 5th favorite movie that we've watched so far?
Ask John first, because I got to find my list, because I don't remember.
Somewhere in here, in these
Hey,
piles
somewhere in
of beer
this.
cans.
I'm not prepared at all for this.
I'm surprised I'm not
Here
hearing
we go,
aluminum
here we go,
cans
here we
falling
go,
over
here
as
we
you're
go.
digging.
No,
the
they're
pile.
plastic because they're nips. So
Oh,
you can't hear
gotcha.
them. So wait, no, what was the question? Top
The fifth
number
one. What's your favorite movie or fifth favorite movie we
fifth
watched?
one. Okay. Fifth favorite one. Okay, Into the Wild's my least favorite. Out
Of the
my
five.
top
The
five.
top five.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, do you have this on your list?
No.
Neither do I. TC, go. Why is
Go.
this number 5?
Well, I mean, there's 4 other movies on this list that are very much guy movies, and they're not thinking movies as much about like introspective shit. So they're like more of like, entertainment. You can just kind of watch them for what they are. Whereas Into the Wild, it's more of like, it's an interpretation of what you're seeing for yourself. And, if you, go on these crazy trips or if you just kind of like stagnate. So there's like self-reflection going on in that movie, which, I like, but I don't really need all the time when I'm watching a film. So
Yeah.
that's my least favorite. And not to mention
you're
it's
saying
kind of
least
slow.
favorite, but it's your 5th favorite, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's
yeah.
my 5th least favorite of the 5th. Right. The 5. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to take another nip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead.
TC, you just like that movie because you watch it and you're like, this is what it would be like if I was famous.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Dead in a truck in the Arctic. That's what? Is
Hey, that's
that what you
me.
mean?
Mom,
Is
look at that.
Yeah,
Watch this movie.
if it's indicative of me not putting numbers to them, it'd be the least amount of work I have to do, right? To just go,
You said I'd never amount to anything, Ma. They made a
Hey,
movie
so
about
you're
me.
right. Fuck it. I'm in the woods. Oh, I have to do shit in the woods. Fuck.
Dead.
Dead. Done. That's it.
That's a great pick, TC. I love that movie. I think it was a real surprise, too. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed watching it. It's impressive that the direction is really good in it, too. That was also surprising with Sean Penn doing it. But yeah, so it was a good pick, man.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, and Eddie Vedder.
Eddie
Yeah,
Vedder.
right. Oh,
Can't
yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
Hey, walking in the woods.
Oh, we're going to the woods.
Don't eat the mushroom. No.
We're gonna find a bus. We're gonna find a bus. What? That's like an Elvis. Eddie
Yeah, I was
Vedder.
going to say
Yeah.
more Elvis.
90s Elvis.
I'm gonna just take another
Yeah.
juice.
Another juice.
I'm gonna juice it up.
Yeah. John, what was your 5th one? Fifth favorite.
Mine was The Princess Bride.
That's a good one.
TC, did you have that on your list?
Negative.
Negative. John. All yours.
So yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's just a light comedy, right? But on the other hand, it's like just a spectacular ensemble, and especially like the first 30 minutes or so are just fantastic. And I've seen it so many times, it's hard to appreciate it. One of those things, but I feel like it's just so well done, and everybody knows it, and everybody knows all the lines, and for a movie to have that much impact, I think is great. And it's just, I don't know, there's such a warmth about it. And the camaraderie sort of between all of the characters. It's just fantastic. I know it's a very light movie and it's a comedy, but I just think it's like one of my favorite feel-good movies. It's hard to not feel like good about things and watch this movie.
Yeah, that's one of the, that one, it would be hard to find somebody that didn't like that movie. I'm pretty sure everybody likes The Princess Bride, right?
Right.
Yeah. Unless you have like a fucked up brain or something. I don't
You
know.
might be in trouble maybe you don't like it to be cool, everybody likes it, I don't like it.
Yeah, like me in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Andre the
I
Giant.
don't like it because you like it, man.
No, that's not why you don't like it. You don't like it because you just don't care.
You don't like it
That's
because you've
true.
never seen it. So how could you like it? Sweet. That's a good pick.
So far, Sean's a liar.
John is a liar.
Well, I mean, I have a feeling that it's going to get to a point then where
Yeah.
every single one
I know,
is going
I
to be
know.
the same. Yeah.
So my number 5 pick was Come and See, because I am compromised and the Russians have
You like that one,
my
huh?
email address. Well,
Yeah.
like would be the word.
My email
Yeah.
address.
I don't know how that happens. I got hacked. I don't know. Mind
They have your email.
control.
Take whatever you want.
Yeah.
We have email. We
I'll
have
pick the
email.
Russian one. I'll pick the one Russian one, I swear.
I give you everything. You got my
Hello.
email. I give you everything. It was just his email, man. Comrade, calm down. No,
You
take
pick
it
number
all.
2 stalker.
We just want to listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
comrade.
No, take everything I have.
Number 5, Come and See this year. Do not ingrain suspicion. Can't be number 2 again. No.
Nope.
Nope.
Hey, playing it safe, huh?
I wouldn't say I like this movie. I would say it was terrifying. I mean, I think it's probably the scariest movie we've watched. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. I'm a
Yep.
fan of horror movies, and it's I wouldn't say it's hard to like scare me or upset me or whatever, but this
You know,
one
he didn't
very
ask
easily.
the question if we have it on our list. You know, if we have it
I didn't.
TC or I. Did you?
So far,
I
we're,
didn't.
we're good.
Or did you?
I did not.
None of
None of
us
us.
not paying attention. Okay.
John,
I think
do you have it on there?
he assumed that
I
I,
assumed.
definitely wouldn't have
Yeah,
it
that's
on
fair.
there.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I did assume, seeing as you
Yeah.
didn't like Stalker. And you
Yeah,
both were like, what,
yeah.
really? When I said
Yeah.
it.
Wait, what? Huh? Why?
Yeah.
I forgot that movie was even on the list.
Yeah.
Yes. I would equate it to like Battle of Algiers, where it was unpleasant,
Mhm.
but there's some images in there that like stick out more than anything. Like going down the list, I was like, oof. There are at least 5 scenes in Come and See that I will never forget, and they'll be up there as like if someone asked me like, what's the most fucked up thing you've seen in a movie? I think number 1 would come from Come and See. So,
Wow.
and
I agree.
I wouldn't recommend it, but it's on there. Gotta appreciate.
I
the ones
wouldn't
that stand out.
recommend it.
Yeah.
But it's in my top 5.
I don't want to be the one responsible for someone walking away from watching that movie. That'd be bad.
And then never listening to the podcast again out of spite.
Yeah. TC, what's your number 4 pick?
Fargo.
Fargo.
Ah,
John, do you have Fargo on your list?
nope.
No.
What?
TC, go.
Sean's a liar.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, Fargo is next, mainly because I have other, I don't know, it's hard to say because I don't want to give away my other picks, but I think I was on a tear here with like fucked up movies.
Yeah.
And I have 2 on here that are like, easygoing movies. So I'm numbering this one less high than the other 2 fucked up movies because it's funny at the same time. Like there's comedy in this one where there's not really comedy in the other 2.
Yeah.
So
Process of elimination. Go.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Fargo's great. I think Buscemi's fantastic in this, and then the other, fucking lunatic. Well, I forget his name every
Peter
time.
Stormare.
Yeah. He's something
yeah.
else. He is just he's scary in this one, and
Got the eyes.
Yeah.
so I thought this
Strange.
it's got a good range of comedy, and then like crime, which I'm always a big fan of, like true crime stuff. So, that's number 4.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a great
You'll
pick.
notice too that none of my answers are like film related. It's like all emotional related.
Yeah, it's like I like
Hey,
TV,
that's
so I
It's
like
not
Fargo.
it's like it has nothing to do with the cinematography and the directors. It's just how I feel. It's all about me.
That's okay. It's your list, man. You do what you want.
Hey, man, a lot calmer than you are, dude.
It's just your opinion, dude.
Yeah. All right.
This is all just like our opinions, man. That's what it
Hey,
is.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny boy.
Number 4.
For number 4, I got Spotlight.
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 TC, you got
Yeah.
that one?
Did
No.
you laugh at me?
No.
TC, do you have that one?
No, I do not have that
I do
one.
not have that one either.
I
Sean,
don't
Sean,
either.
you
You
Sean.
lying sack of shit. We're at 30%
Sean,
at
you
best.
piece of shit. You lied to me, to my face.
Oh, he's so good at this. He's so
Maybe
good
the
at this.
next 2. The next 2 would maybe you'll,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
have
yeah.
a list. Yeah. But I was looking through the list and I was like, I wasn't sure about Spotlight, and I just said to myself, well, if All the President's Men is not on this top 250, I'm going to put Spotlight on my list because
That movie's
Okay.
that good? All
What's
the
that
President's
movie?
Men?
I don't even know that movie.
All the President's Men's fantastic. It's the story of Watergate, but told from the perspective of the 2 reporters who basically uncovered most of it.
Oh, shit.
Um,
Yeah.
And
Redford.
it's Redford and
Ooh.
Hoffman.
What?
Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford. in it.
Yeah.
I got to watch
Um,
that.
Yeah, it's great. But I think the movie is this is my propaganda pick. Like last time with our first 50, I had The Martian, because I love science and the idea of us being explorers, but also adventurers. And I think this is,
Us meaning not us, but like other people that are
People like
humans
other
that are
people that
braver
do
than we
that.
are.
I mean,
Yeah.
people in general. I mean, this idea, this potential that we have. And I think this is what Spotlight does is its presentation of journalism and the importance of it and what it's like, what the process is like. And I think that it's more than ever an important thing in our times. And so just watching a movie like this where you see the process unfold of them uncovering a story, even reluctantly, like some of them weren't willing to face the story or they didn't feel like they had enough evidence to really push it forward and seeing like the history there. And that's kind of the primary reason for me picking it. But also I just felt the film was really watchable and really well done. And
Really
to have a
strangely
movie-
watchable, right?
Well, but to have a movie that is mostly dialogue, it's not like you don't got action or suspense or I mean, there's some suspense, but you know how it turned out if you were, if you know anything about the history of it. And so to have the movie be really watchable and well done, and when it's really just a lot of people talking most of the time, I think is also really impressive.
Except for
and
the
maybe
last scene
I'm-
where Buffalo runs around churches and just starts punching priests in the dick. Just-
Yeah, I know. He goes Hulk. He goes rough. Yeah, reporter smash.
I mean, you're paying him money. You got to get some Hulk out of him.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think, and maybe also something I really loved about the film that endeared it to me is just all the Boston references. Just like they've got a harpoon IPA in every
I
scene.
know the harpoon IPA, man. Can I get one out here, please?
Yeah.
I was in Cape
Jesus.
Cod last weekend, and I was like, I only want harpoon IPA. I get it for like 3 days. Just give me the harpoon IPA. I get on the West Coast.
Yeah, sign me up. IV drip, whatever you got to do. IPA only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So I think there were just a number of those factors, but also just it's something to watch. It's something to be inspired by, to be like, wow, to watch it and think, wow, thank God for journalism, or people would watch it and think that maybe that's something they'd like to do one day, as they get older or something. So it's my propaganda pick.
Hey,
Nice.
it's a good
What
pick,
does that
man.
mean? Your propaganda pick? Just like what you think is worth
it's
it?
It's something. Yeah. It's like a message I really wish people would get to hear.
Gotcha.
It's the same thing like with The Martian, where it was all about like science and being able to overcome things with your smarts, and I just, those are sort of messages. I think it's great when a movie can provide that and do it in a way that's very entertaining at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if one of you did not pick my number 4 pick,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The 400 Blows.
Ty, that is my
Number 4?
third. Oh,
It's
no,
your
it's
third.
not my third. It
So
can't
you
be
get
my
to go.
fourth. I'm an idiot. I can't count, unlike Sean, who might not be able to count either.
Yeah,
It's
but
still
there's
amazing.
overlap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
there's
hit
the
one.
overlap.
We hit
His
one.
data was just like it wasn't like
I
what
got
number
400
it was at.
blows as number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
So you get to
Oh, we
start
just
off.
ruined that one.
Well, no, but this is the rule. You weren't listening to TC.
The rule is John goes because he has it higher on his list. As
That
long as it's
doesn't
not number
matter.
1. It does. Go, John.
No, I know. I totally do.
Oh, nice. All right. You're pulling her leg there.
Yeah. Boy,
I love it. Yeah. That's what I was doing. I'm with it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Move on. Yeah.
I mean, again, one of the other things about picking these films is just thinking about whatever films like I thought about the most afterwards. And this one, just the imagery of it, and the feeling of being part of this boy's life, and the sort of the realism of how he related to his parents, how he just saw his day-to-day life was just, to me, amazing. And I know we love films like this, and I think this might be the best example we've seen of it so far, of that
Agreed.
sense of like fly on the wall.
I
You're
mean,
just
no
sort of-
offense. I had to
yeah.
look up the name of the movie just to figure out what you're talking about. So.
I know, but you
I
love
didn't
this
like
one.
it.
You
TC.
love this one, dude. You watched it
I know,
twice.
I did like it, but I still don't remember it. So
I know, that's okay. Go back and listen to the podcast.
this is why I'm a
Yeah,
big
we did.
note taker, because my brain doesn't last for more than 24 hours at a time. So
Yeah. But I think that alone, like is why I put it on the list, because I know I love that sense of like just getting, like being a part of a person's life, as opposed to feeling like you're getting a film shown to you, and a story shown to you where, hey, this happens and here's the climax here, and isn't
here's
this
your 3
exciting?
acts. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, right.
And just everything about this film is so very well done. And even, I mean, what is it? It's 1959. It's not horribly old.
It's pretty old. It does not feel that old.
It does not. It just feels very real, and that's impressive. I think that's like to have that timelessness to it is also really amazing. So
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I agree with everything you said, but it's all, and it's also kind of a really good like document. It's almost a documentary of Paris in the 50s, just like how much of the city they show, and like the feeling and the music and the clothing styles, and the attitudes. The soundtrack was like, for such an old movie, movies in the 50s don't have the best soundtracks.
You
and I mean,
remember the soundtrack? I couldn't remember a fucking thing about this movie if I tried.
yeah,
right
dude.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great soundtrack. It sounds very French. It's a lot of strings. It's not big band. It doesn't. It's not recorded. On
and
like,
I think you have the feeling of it's also it's like it's present in the movie. It's not like it's as if you're hearing it on the streets or whatever. If I remember right, I don't remember for sure. It didn't feel like it. Again, the same thing. It didn't feel like it was being played at you or anything. It was just like part of the experience.
I mean, the story is kind of sad, and the soundtrack kind of made it seem less of a sad story. It's kind of like a more, for some reason, because there's like almost no hope in the movie, but the soundtrack, I think, helps make it seem like a lighter movie. which makes it more watchable. Otherwise, it'd be, like, oh, this kid keeps getting fucked over and over again. Do you want to watch this?
Right.
No.
Yeah. I don't even remember the goddamn thing. I'm looking at the wiki trying to figure out.
You should watch it again, dude.
Or just listen to the podcast. You really liked it, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I think
sure
you
I did. I just don't remember it. That happens a lot.
Wow, that must be great. You can watch it all over again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ooh, what's this?
Number 3, TC.
No Country for Old Men.
Ooh, John.
Oh, I got that as number 2.
There you go, John.
John just keeps on talking.
Hey, it's better than me. I got nothing good to say. I didn't even fucking
I liked
rate
it because
the
there's
things
stuff
until
in
now.
it that was cool.
I liked it because I did a watchy thing.
I
once.
remember parts of that one.
I remember. No, I don't. Never mind.
Do I remember that? I remember something.
Who are you guys, and what am I doing here?
Hey, you show up every week. It's impressive, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Pound on the head.
Yeah.
Oh, TC's here again. Sweet.
Hey, fuck you.
Oh, we're going to do a Timmy top 5.
We should do a Timmy. We should have done a Timmy top 5.
Come up with it
Yeah,
quick.
Let me look at the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be all booze hound movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some special awards in between the top and bottom ones, too, that are, special.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or we'll just some special discussions.
Yeah.
But Coen film, really meticulously done. This movie, I think it's some of the most suspenseful. It's one of the most suspenseful movies that's not like a war movie. It's
That's
not
a good
necessarily.
point.
And I think like the apartment scene or the hotel scene where he's sitting on the hotel bed is like one of the most like striking scenes I think I've ever watched. It's like one of the, for some reason, that particular scene where he's sitting there on the hotel bed and he's listening to the footsteps and he's watching the door. I don't know if I can express why it's the case, but that is.
Can I try? I think I know.
You go ahead.
It's not even on my
but-
list. I think it's because it leads you in such a good narrative way without actually, the way the camera moves and what it shows you on the camera and the sounds it gives you and like the pacing of that scene and everything gives you a complete narrative to tell you what exactly is going to, like what is happening, what he's thinking, what Shakur is thinking, like, what both sides are doing.
Right.
Without any dialogue or any,
And I just, when I started to see that, when I saw this movie again, and it's the second time I saw it, and before that scene came up, I got scared. I mean, I got like tense because I knew that, and then I was like, why am I tense? It's like, oh God, it's that scene. And then I really like intensely remembered that scene before it happened.
Wow.
And then saw it again, and it was just, that made such a big impression on me. Again, there's such good acting in this, and Tommy Lee Jones, and the cinematography is fantastic. The way they decide to tell the story is just really interesting to watch. And even though it's a very dark tale, and I normally don't like those things too, when it's just like it's like really dark, but it doesn't feel like it's wallowing it or in it or anything either. Even though that's kind of arguably the whole point of the movie. And I don't know, it made one of the biggest impressions on me in terms of like constructing this idea, this feeling of being old and out of place, and the feeling of like fighting impossible odds and losing. And I don't know, like Llewyn, like, or whatever the guy's name is,
Llewellyn. Yeah.
Like his struggle, and still there's like a great like heroicism about it, even though he dies in the end, of course, spoiler. But his struggle is
Well, it's not a
still
spoiler.
really-
We've already well past it.
yeah.
I know, but not to you guys, but to anybody listening who may not have seen the movie. But
He dies.
but
Spoiler. Also,
it's
everyone dies at
still,
the end of
like-
Avengers. Spoiler.
But even,
He's a ghost the entire time. 6 cents. Spoiler.
But
It's enough time to pause it, right? Right, John?
I like
It's enough
it.
time.
I like it, Denny. It's funny. Spoiler.
okay. Anyway, fuck you.
But I think it's
All right.
great. Like every time John goes on a really good like roll, we always have to interrupt him.
Yeah, I
we can't
fucking
even
know.
let him out. Like, you do it too well, John. You do it too well. I don't like it.
Yeah.
We gotta
Knock you
break it
down a
up.
peg. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Come down with us. Come on,
Come
John.
down,
Come
the
down
bottom
here.
feed is over here.
All right. Can I finish?
No.
boys.
No.
Hey, would you like to make some fart jokes or something? Go on,
Yes.
go on.
Yes, I would.
What? Anyway, spoilers. He farts. Maybe I should have started with the whiskey. I don't know.
Oh man.
We will
Sorry,
see.
John.
No. It's okay. So even though it's very dark, there's still a lot in those characters that's very heroic. Whether it's Llewellyn or his wife, or I think that's also just extremely well handled. Like the people it's all very, very respectfully done. Even though like they're not necessarily like the most educated or whatever. So even though it all ends very darkly, it doesn't feel like it's just all like some kind of gloom and doom picture of humanity or anything like that. So yeah, just an immensely well crafted film.
Yep, agreed on that one.
Anything to add, TZ? Since that was your spot.
My favorite shot is when the guy's choking the other dude, and the black shoes goes all over the floor, and they just man, it's like a brutal mind fuck right there. It's like it's
Jesus
too real. Christ. Yeah, I know. He's
it
really
lasts for so long.
He's scuffing the whole floor. It's not just a little bit; it's everywhere. Like,
and then when they go to the crime scene, you can see like all the little black spots just scraped on the ground. You're like, oh god,
hell of an idea for the whole frame there.
Yeah. What a way to start a movie.
I know, huh?
Who's gonna stop watching it after that? Unless you're like opposed to violence or something,
or scared.
Right? Right.
Like, I'm out.
I'm out. That's it. First scene. Nope.
Did they kill that guy? It looked like he killed that guy.
He's dead.
Yeah.
There's a boyfriend, whispering to his girlfriend, he's dead in the theater,
Yeah.
Like, no, he's definitely dead. No. Anyways.
So John, you only have your number one left. So
oh wow.
I'm all out. Yeah.
You're all out. You've emptied the chamber as like in Deer Hunter, which will certainly be the number one on somebody's list, right?
No way.
We all loved that movie.
Not a chance.
But so my number 3, Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, here we go.
Do you have that on number? TC does not have that as number 2.
No, I don't have that as anywhere. Come on.
I don't know. This movie is a combination of, I would say, with certainty for me, that this is the best action movie I've ever seen. Easily.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, easily.
I don't. You know what? I don't actually have like a rebuttal for that, so maybe you're right. I'm not like I didn't. I was like, really? And I didn't instantly have like another movie to bring up. Like, I wasn't like, oh shit,
really?
Okay. Oh wait,
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
So you might be right.
It's like I'm sitting here and it's like I don't know what to describe.
I love you
It's like,
catching your attitude like that. Yeah. Oh really?
Oh
wait a
really?
minute.
Oh, like I'm pissed off. Like come on, there's a better. And then instant echo in my head, like doom, doom, doom. Nothing's coming to mind. I got nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I would say number one action movie for me, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Not you guys, but other people.
Yeah, or some of us just don't, go for that action thing like you idiots.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But also, I think that it's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. I would consider it a sci-fi / fantasy, one of the two.
Oh yeah, I thought you thought it was a real world, thing. We had that discussion. You thought it really could happen,
but it's both, John. Just like Mad Max. The other ones.
Yep.
Kind of futuristic.
Yep.
Post-apocalyptic movies.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to get my words like on the either end of John's. Yep.
What?
Just letting him say his yeps. But I wanted to keep talking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You guys are fucking harassing me here in my goddamn number 3.
Oh yeah. We're harassing.
Go ahead. Harass you. You're top 4, John. Jesus Christ.
Poor Denny.
Colors,
keep going.
cinematography, action, people risking their lives to make it. The fact that it was being made for over 15 years, all the small details throughout it, the acting and the storytelling without using dialogue, the small special effects, things that don't really add to the story, but just add to the world building in general, like the amount of imagination put into it. There's a ton to love about it. And even with all that stuff to the side, it's an amazing action movie and I love it. And it's probably the one, besides one that we talked about previously, that I've seen the most. And I would probably put this one as like, which one would I rather watch right now out of all the last 50? This would be number 1.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Christ.
Yeah.
I thought Stallone's cliffhanger was better.
Hey, why isn't that on the list, dude? It's got freaking, what's his name? From the Third Rock from the Sun?
Which one are we talking about now?
Cliffhanger.
So Lithgow in there, right? Come on.
Cliffhanger.
Remember that movie from the 90s?
Bullshit.
I remember Cliffhanger.
Yeah, dude.
I don't get the joke.
Stallone was an action movie. Yeah, fine.
John's equating Mad Max Fury Road to Cliffhanger like a moron.
I totally agree with you though, Denny. I think this is one of the best action movies I've ever seen too. I think it was definitely an honorable mention for me. So I agree with
Oh, you know what? I don't have another one. So John, you might be right.
I wish
Oh,
that's
God.
how arguments worked.
Yeah. Maybe just take a breath there, TC.
Yeah, what?
Shit, really? Oh, shit. I'm wrong probably
Oh,
then, huh?
shit.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. I don't know.
I agree. It's a fantastic film, and that it's was just done so recently. And normally you might have somebody go and revisit their old material and do it. It's worse. It's not better. Like when you're young and you've got it, as Sick Boy would say, and they, when he did the initial Mad Max, you would think that it's entirely possible he goes and revisits it. Visits it.
Huh?
Yeah. My White Russian is out.
Why am I empty? That's the question I
We
ask
might need to
myself
take a
every
little
day.
fridge run in between the top 5 and the bottom 3.
Or before
yeah.
we get to the number 1. Yeah, definitely. But I think that's also really impressive that he came back and did this and he fought
He's
for
so
it and made it
old.
happen. I know. And there may never be a sequel because of the lawsuits and whatnot, but I think that's also really amazing.
And good thing,
that
too,
whole
because
story.
I think that I do want a sequel to this, but if it's not as good as this one, and if it's rushed by the studio, and if it sucks, fuck that. I don't want that. I want this movie to
Fair enough.
be by itself,
Yeah.
I don't want them to explain the backstory of Furiosa, which they're probably going to do in the second one. And
Yeah, I thought, that's what I heard was that was the second would focus more on her.
yeah, which is fine, but I don't want a freaking origin story to explain everything and ruin the subtlety of the first one.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm not yelling at you, John. I'm yelling at the studios.
I'm yelling at
No,
general people.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, it was an amazing accomplishment, and I think
I don't want them to do the Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings, and then the Hobbit. I don't want the same
and
thing.
It's like, give us more of that. That was a big hit. Give us more of that.
And the studio's like, holy shit, there's so much money here. Let's go. It sucks, but we're still making lots of money. So who cares?
Right.
There's no more books to make. So fuck you, fans. Fingers to everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I see it.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of yelled over you there, John. But
hey, it hurts only a little.
TC, what's your number 2 pick?
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Yes, good choice.
Good choice.
Yeah, look, there Will Be Blood. It's one of the best movies I've seen. I'll give you the reason why my number 1 is the number 1 later on, of course. But I mean, that fucking statement of these people. One of my favorite lines of the whole fucking world. It's like what I feel every day
Did you jump
when
from
I
movie
work
to
with
world?
people. Yeah, because it's like in your world, in your little world that we all live in, right? Like I understand that thought.
Yeah.
And that's what is just, I don't know. But I also find the whole oil thing in our country fascinating. The idea that people used to just dig and go down and
become rich.
And become rich. And that was possible. And it wasn't easy. It was a pain in the ass. It was really difficult. And it was a hard job.
You would die. You would get dirty.
You could die. Yeah, right. Your family's life was on the line. I mean, there's just so
you had
much
to live
drama.
in the desert, pretty much.
Yeah, there's so much drama in that idea of a story that it's fun to watch. I know another reason why is that I watched this with my mother the last time because she hadn't seen it before and she loved this movie. So it's also accessible from all walks of life. And Daniel Day-Lewis is just, he's a summable bitch. I mean, that guy can act, dude.
Yeah.
He can act. And so that's number 2 on my list.
Number 2.
Good choice, man.
My number 2 is The Big Lebowski. I've seen this movie, as I said in the episode, between 50 and 100 times. It's extremely rewatchable. It's hilarious. It's probably the best quality comedy that exists in terms of everything else that happens in terms of acting, storytelling, the way it's edited together, the cinematography, all of that, checklists of what you can win awards for type of shit.
Which it didn't, but
it didn't, but it should have,
Right.
It really could have if people, respected comedies
it's
more.
hard for comedies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It's funny every time I watch it, and there's no other movie that has me laughing out loud. If I've seen it 3 times, I'm like, oh, I've already seen this.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
So yeah, I love The Big Lebowski. It probably shaped me into who I am.
It's maybe
almost as much as Ace Ventura 1 and 2. That's all I gotta say.
Have you watched it more than The King's Speech?
Dude, hell yeah! I've seen The King's Speech maybe 5 times. I've seen Big Lebowski between 50 and 100 times.
Is this the most watched movie of your life?
I think so, unless I watched The Little Mermaid a lot when I was a kid or something like that.
Oh, That would explain some things, but no, I don't know.
That's why you wear that fish half bottom thing. Walk around.
Just keep looking for your prints.
Seashell bra you got in your house. Fucking weirdo.
Yeah. I want to be with the people. You are people, Denny. Shut up.
My collection of forks that are bent slightly at the neck.
Yeah. You do got some vivid images from that film.
Oh man.
All
Number one time, guys.
Well,
TC,
you just talked about it.
Big Lebowski.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I fell even more in love with it now that I live in Los Angeles too, because you just see these little places like Ralph's, and you're like, every time I walk by the fucking creamer now, I'm like, fucking, hey man, the dude was probably here, man. Like,
He was.
and even my mental like voice goes like that, like I change characters in my head when I'm walking by the cream now.
My cream voice has changed.
Yeah, like, whoa, man, half and half. Cool, man. It's just a dude, man, fuck it, Calmer than you are, dude. This is one of my fucking favorite movies. I mean, really. At some points in life, I'm like, fuck, man, the dude is a better dude than I am, So
He's trying.
Yeah, I love that movie. I think it's great. I quote it frequently, and I was happy to have this in this top next 100 or whatever. So
Hell yeah.
Great movie. I will watch it over and over and over again, and I will laugh every single time. And I'm not a big White Russian guy, so I won't fall into that. Obviously, right? I'm drinking fucking whiskey and beer.
I'm drinking
a
White Russian John. Clinkies.
Yeah,
I am
drinking.
Clinkies, I know, but I mean, I will admit, I'm not thrilled with it.
You don't like it?
Well, so the recipe I had was like 2 parts vodka, 1 part Kahlua, 1 part half and half, and that was 1 part vodka too much. I think.
I just don't like vodka. That's the problem.
Just do Kahlua and milk. That'll be tasty.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait. How did you do it, TC or Denny? Did you have the same recipe there?
Yeah, I do equal parts Kahlua and vodka, and then a splash of milk.
See, that's what I think is. Oh, milk.
Cream, half and half.
Half and half.
Actually, I used whole milk because that's all we had.
Oh,
I mean, honestly, my roommate used to make them here and there, and I don't mind just the regular milk.
Yeah,
milk.
It's not as thick.
Thick.
Plus, I have like a mental thing about like mixing cream with liquor. I just don't think it works.
I like Irish Bailey's.
What about a nog? Huh?
Never.
What about a flip?
No.
What about a flip? Huh?
I don't know what that is.
Ooh,
I never heard
it's
of
got
that.
a little eggy drink there.
Ew,
Nice
throwing
and
up right
crude.
now.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it sounds bad. Anyway,
Very.
sorry. We derailed.
John, we got to go to yours now. I mean, I don't know what that would be if it's not the Lebowski.
Yeah, I feel bad about not. That one was definitely.
Can I guess?
it is
I'm gonna
one of
guess,
my
John.
favorite films.
Yeah, to guess.
wanna
Let's
guess?
do the guessing game, Denny.
Would you like to guess?
Let's guess. You get a guess. I get a guess.
I'm gonna guess Train Spotting.
That's a good guess.
I'm gonna guess Network.
Wait. You
That
only
is-
get one
I'm
guess.
gonna stop guessing.
Asshole. Jesus.
My third
God.
guess is no guess. TC, go.
I'm
Yes.
gonna guess Hachi. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't
Wow.
help it.
You're right, CC.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
Hachi.
brave.
Dog.
The dog wins all the awards.
The
dog
dog
wins.
waited, man.
The dog
He
waited, dude. The dude doesn't wait
The
for nobody, but the
no,
dog
no. The
waits,
dog abides,
man. The dog abides. Fucking A.
Yep.
I don't know.
All right,
After
I have no
I got
guess.
nothing.
All right. Can I say now?
No.
'Cause-
Yes,
so-
Can I
please.
guess more?
Okay, we can guess more. Let's do one more guess. Denny, guess.
one more
Go.
guess, Denny,
No,
go.
I don't.
Go.
Dude, Train Spotting was. How is that not in your list? I thought you loved that movie.
I do love it, and it was definitely an honorable mention.
Let's go.
Go. Oh, sorry, TC, guessing.
Let's go with. I'm looking at the list.
Fargo?
Wait,
we're doing an
Spit
order?
it out. Spit it out. Spit
It
it out.
is Come and See.
What?
Oh,
Yep.
why?
Dude. Seriously?
I talk about the movies that like in terms of thinking about these movies, the ones that I would think about the most and that I felt like really impacted me the most. And that movie, I can still in my mind like very clearly see the bullets splintering trees. That movie had
the bullets
most,
flying over the kid's head in real
Yeah.
life.
Right. I mean, I think that film is in terms of like trying to depict war, not in terms of like the soldier's viewpoint more so, but just the people caught up in it, is just, it's terrifying. It's awful. But it's so well done, and
we watched shitty versions of it on like free
it was
library
brutal.
right,
stuff.
right, yeah. But it just was so, I don't know, it was so powerful. And on one hand, I like had mixed feelings, just like you, Denny, where you're talking about you not necessarily wanting to recommend this to somebody, but I don't know.
Right.
I think if anybody glorifies war or tries to like revision or think about what happens in the past as like, hey, it's not so bad, whatever. Hey, it was great. It was really glorious, whatever, on one side or the other. I think that this is a decent movie to go watch.
I mean, even like Saving Private
you know,
Ryan has some scenes where it's like, hey, this isn't so bad. Like when they're playing cards up in like the barn and shit like that.
Right,
and they have like
right.
conversations that seem like, oh, going to war isn't all bad,
Yeah.
But
Come and
not
see
this
was
one.
fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. It was amazing.
I just think it was the one that I thought about the most, and that kind of like sort of it makes it like an easy win. But it was the one where the images also stuck with me. Like again, the people being pushed in the church.
Yep. I would say, wouldn't you say if someone asked you w's the scariest scene you've ever seen in a film, that would easily be my number one.
That's close there.
I
Definitely.
don't remember.
Oh, of course not.
Let me take a look at my notes. They might have better answers.
I think it's the Sixth Sense scene when the kid gets locked in whatever that, I forget.
I remember.
Wow, that's
what it would be.
That's it.
Yeah,
and just staring at the ceiling, be like, I think he's thinking.
Yeah.
Did he forget what we were talking about?
Is he thinking?
Did
Is
he
it,
remember?
hey, you with us? Hey, you with us?
He just forgot what he was remembering.
Yeah.
That's all.
Exactly. That was good. That's funny.
But yeah, so it's the most powerful film I think I've seen yet, in terms of some of the scenes there. So it's hard not to put it way up there, even though, like you say, Denny, it's not necessarily fun.
No, it's not a fun movie to watch at all. By any
but
means.
It makes me feel like the idea of what film can do. I think it's just about as good of an example as I can think of.
And I'm going to keep going
cool.
too. Like the way it uses sound was stolen.
Yeah. Oh
from
God. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg.
Holy cow.
For
Right.
both Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. Like the scene that sticks out the most, probably because it's the first one, is when the bombs go off and then the sound goes away and all you hear is ringing.
Yeah.
And it completely brings you into like this person's world.
That's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, and it was terrifying because like up until that point, if you're going to watch this movie on John's recommendations, you absolutely should, and make it through the first half an hour, because that's what I remember.
Right.
Like, the first half an hour was weird, right?
Right.
And maybe see it in a theater.
I thought it was like going to be some kind of art film or something weird. It was strange.
It's not. Well, it kind of is, but it's not like a fucking pretentious, stupid. Like the first half an hour is different than the rest of the movie. So get through the first half an hour. As soon as the bombs drop, that's where it like picks up. Can I use that phrase?
Yeah,
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Weird
Then
phrase.
it gets good, boy.
Yeah, that's when the action starts.
And it gets good, boy. I tell
But
you what.
it's also filmed like a horror movie,
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
which is awesome because that doesn't. I mean, what other war movie is like a horror movie?
Yeah.
Usually like an action movie.
I think you see we see all kinds of different movies that depict the horrors of war in different ways, and not necessarily that it's all like laudable to try to do that. But I think this is one of the most effective cases I've seen of it. And and part of that is like the films that came after it all imitated it.
Yeah. See it. We need a release. We need like a remastering of this movie, I think.
Yeah.
Or just a better place to watch it than
I don't
how
know.
we
Can
did.
you handle it? Could you handle seeing it on a?
It might make it worse because like the special effects are like it might be more obvious that people
I feel
are
like
less in
seeing
danger.
it at a straight up theater with an old film stock would be badass.
It could be. I don't know, but you got a good point, Denny. That maybe you'd see the holes.
By all accounts, they remastered it in like the early 2010s. And they showed it in Europe a little bit, and people
Didn't
were
do
like,
well.
"Holy shit!" No, it did. People were like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!"
Oh wow!
But it never got released. That
actually,
remaster
like
never
to
got
buy?
released. Yeah, to buy.
You mean? Ah, fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Why
so
are
it
they doing
exists.
that shit?
I don't know. Because it's Russia. I don't know, man.
Hey, yeah. I'm the one that's
Careful.
compromised now, Denny, and I'll be
Careful.
reporting you to the proper authorities.
John, we're supposed to pretend like we're against Russia to cover ourselves.
Hey,
Oh, all
our
right,
president
sorry.
loves Russia. We don't need to pretend.
You're more advanced. Sorry, you've been compromised.
You've
longer
been
than I am.
compromised. You've been compromised. Yep.
TC, you're fucked. You're next.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Fuck them.
But I'm an amateur compromised person, Denny. I'm sorry. I'll try to learn from you.
I'm the higher level.
Yeah. You're compromised level 3 or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
My number one, There Will Be Blood.
Yes, really? How surprising.
There
I
Will Be
didn't see
Blood.
that coming.
Is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Ever made. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's the best movie I've ever seen. It's perfect in every way.
Perfect.
Ew.
It sounds like he's having sex with the movie
That's
right
like,
now.
yucky.
Does it?
That's a little-
I'm trying to be this. This is my Daniel Day-Lewis character. It's bad.
Oh, I see. It's really
see,
bad.
it didn't
Sorry.
land.
See,
It didn't land.
yeah.
It just
No.
didn't
You
land.
should stop it. You don't get. No.
I don't have the deep enough. Can either of you do a Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis from this movie?
He's trying to do the Daniel Day-Lewis voice.
Perfect in every play.
Mediocre.
Better than yours.
Steak, whiskey, milk for the boy.
Steak,
Milk for the
whiskey.
boy.
Milk for the boy.
Yeah. So we're all bad at Daniel Day-Lewis, which is why this
Yeah,
movie.
right.
I mean,
Fuck you
there-
there, Denny.
I think there are a few movies we've watched so far that could be considered perfect. Like every single second of it is as good as it possibly could be.
I don't. Anyway, go on. No, I will disagree later if you like.
Okay.
But keep moving. Go with yours.
There's a
Go
whole bunch of movies on this list.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I would put The Big Lebowski on that list of the short list of that. I would not put Mad Max or The 400 Blows or Come and See on that list.
No.
Or like my top 5.
Of all time, you're saying?
No, just of movies that have scenes. The Big Lebowski and There Will Be Blood don't have scenes where I'm like, that should be different or that should be removed. Anything like that. I think There Will Be Blood is perfect. Like there's nothing in it that I would want changed. I think the soundtrack, personally, I think that original soundtrack, save for maybe like the John Williams-esque soundtracks of like blockbuster movies that are just you singing in your head and like Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones.
Right, they get
Those
stuck
ones
with
are
you
great,
for a while. Yeah.
but the soundtrack of There Will Be Blood is
Was
like
intentional.
the best soundtrack.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Johnny.
It's-
Good old Johnny.
Yeah,
Right?
and he like
Fucking
it
hell, man.
informs the scenes in ways where they have like montages of them doing like site surveys in the middle of nowhere, and that shit would be boring if it wasn't for the music, where it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh shit! All right, here we go. They're up to shit. They're doing stuff. They're scheming over here. You know?
Yeah, well, they're using
Huh?
elements that are not just screen based to like bring up the anticipation, which is
Right.
fantastic. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the score, I think this movie could be boring. And it is
And I don't
long.
think that if you had a different guy from Johnny, that it would be very good because their Radiohead does that shit bar none.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're awesome.
I mean,
And
they're
he's-
just so good at crafting
he's the best
that,
part of
that
Radiohead.
anticipation. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're so good at that. I mean, it's he's a talented motherfucker.
He's
the
so
whole,
good.
the whole like production of that movie is just what other people should strive for when they're making theirs.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's an easy number one is too because like the soundtrack is, like I said, probably my favorite non like pop whatever accessible one.
Right.
But it's not the best part of the movie, and neither is
No.
the acting, and neither is the cinematography or the
Right.
story or the like anything about it. None of those are the best part. It's like the way it's put together is better than all of the other parts, and the other individual parts are better than like most movies.
Hmm.
So
So
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it's
easily,
just- yeah, it's
number
great.
one.
Mic drop.
It's a good one. All right, that's it, folks. All right. Anyways, when
Yeah.
are we watching next? Because this is done. No, I'm just kidding.
nope. we got.
Anyways,
What do we-
the boil under our feet.
Do we need drinks, John? What do we think?
Yeah.
I need a beer.
Yeah, let's take a little. Let's take a little piss break. A
I'm
little.
gonna take a pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Be back. And we say hello. The person who lets me watch all these movies and watch all the commentaries and is not bothered by it. Her name is Naomi. I'm married to her. Say hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Very good.
Woo. She was on a podcast. People know her if they've listened to the Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings one, right?
Yeah. Or the Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Lord of
Fuck,
the Rings,
I don't
Harry
know.
Potter,
to
whatever.
me, it could be all the same shit. I could.
Yeah, exactly.
So for this one, I feel like it should be a free for all because for the bottom three, we're gonna wait,
God,
we're
I
gonna
hate
wait for
these
this.
movies. Actually, you know what though?
Oh,
I have to
wait,
be
wait, wait.
careful. What?
So first, we're gonna give a little fun little secondary prizes. I've come up with
Well,
categories,
there you
and
go.
John,
There are
this is John's idea.
discussions.
This is a good
Okay.
idea.
That was a good idea, by the way. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have categories, and we can discuss our way to winners
Okay.
for categories. The first category is the best movie drink. The nominees are Martinis in Dial M for Murder, Rolling Rock in The Deer Hunter, PBR in Gran Torino, Jack Daniels in Platoon, Harpoon IPA in Spotlight,
That's the
and
one.
the White Russian in Big Lebowski.
Harpoon.
Yeah,
White Russian.
I would go. In
I'm a
terms
beer
of what I
drinker.
like, I would go with Harpoon. But in terms of like a drink sort of being really part of the movie, it's totally the White
White
Russian.
Russian.
just
Yeah,
because-
that's a good
It
point.
brought White Russians out of obscurity.
I know, and also just the way it just plays a part in the film, and like he's just always like not just that he has one, but he's making them, or he's like using coffee creamer.
That's a
all
good
the
call,
color.
John.
all the
That's like
time.
it's actually a part of the delivery of the
Yeah,
film,
yeah.
not just like an ancillary part that
Product
like we're just
placement,
prop,
kind of.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a scene
I
where he's
gotta
digging
get it
around
on.
to the bar, the dry bar or whatever. Is that called the dry bar? Wet bar?
Right,
I don't know.
What? I don't
When
know.
he's like, he's trying to explain himself and why he's there, but then he gets distracted. He's like, do you have any Kahlua? He just gets easily, he's like, priority number one, make the White Russian.
Yeah,
then you can
exactly,
get to
yeah.
business.
He's trying to like he's trying to like coordinate stuff, but then he sort of like hits a wall with the like mixing his drink. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other movie where there's an actual defined drink like that. I mean, I certainly can't think of one like where it's such a part of the film.
Yeah. So we agree. The winner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is the
yeah.
White
That's the
Russian.
winner is the White Russian on that one for sure. Too many evidence points there.
Yeah. The best fight / action scene in a movie. And feel free to add to these. These are the nominees I've come up with, but let me know if you think of any other ones. The car fight scene in the movie Wild Tales. Remember that movie? Oh,
Yes.
Haven't thought about that one in a while.
No.
The chariot race in Ben-Hur. The I don't know what to call it. The bendy stick chase part in Mad Max Fury Road.
Where the guy's like the guitar player and shit. And then,
when they're on like
when they're
bendy,
yeah. Okay, got it.
he's like bending back and forth and they steal people out of the cars. and
right.
I don't know what to call it, but that
I
scene
don't
is
either.
fucking amazing.
Bendy stick thing.
Yeah, bendy stick chase part. That part.
Yep. Got it.
The last fight scene, or sorry, not the last fight scene. The Kill Bill fight scene, the really big one, the second to last fight scene, and then the airport fight scene in Captain America's Civil War.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Wild Tales. I think that's still like I thought about that even as an honorable mention. That car fight scene,
Only good part of the movie.
really-
Well, only great part of
Well,
the movie.
a great part of the movie, but just really freaking intense, man. I don't know as part.
Intense and tense. Like it seems
Yes.
so real and it's so linear. Like every second is accounted for on screen.
Yeah. So that one, I mean, that was a pretty good, but I don't know if you call
And
it.
it's pathetic too, right? They're bad fighters.
Yeah.
They're struggling.
Yeah, but I don't know if you call it. I don't know if that's action. That's more like kind of suspense horror kind of. So to me, I think that's probably one of the best fight scenes. I don't know, as far as just being like horrifying. There's like, but the Mad Max ones are more like wow.
Different
not so
kind
much
of thing.
horrifying. Yeah, so I don't know if it's fair to like.
True. The Mad Max ones were like impressive,
yeah.
not like normal.
Like they really did this. Oh my God, they're flying through the air.
Yeah,
The colors are amazing.
Wild Tales was like an honest fight where there's
Yeah.
no holes barred.
But it was also
I
like
don't
in a
know.
car that was like, vertical. So it was kind of something special, but like
Yeah.
what it would actually be like and not what it would be like in a movie.
And what was the
Yeah.
Avengers one? I don't even remember it.
That was when they're throwing everything's going.
It's when everyone
crazy in
fights.
the
Like
airport.
Spider-Man is
Yeah.
there, Ant-Man
Yeah.
is there.
John gets tired.
Got it. Ugh.
Yeah,
Nerds, I put
It
that in
was-
there because nerds love that scene. It was a pretty good scene.
it is good. It just gets almost overwhelming. It's like a kitchen sink thing. I get tired. It's like oh.
But it's like the way they do it, it could be that. But I would disagree in the fact that it's very
Yeah.
easy to follow.
Yeah.
And there's little quips in the middle of it, and you know where everyone is the
Oh, I
entire
know.
time.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
pretty well done for what it is.
It is. I think for what it is, it's like, yeah. I mean, we see kind of par for the course, like once you get to Infinity War and things like that too, where you just have so much going on, but it's still quite well orchestrated. So it's
I think
fair to point that out. Yeah.
airport, at least the way it's
Yeah.
talked about on the internet, that scene will stand out, even
Oh,
if
yeah.
there are like other collaboration fight scenes in the future, because it was like the first one to do it right, and people love it
Yeah.
a lot. Whatever that's worth,
Yeah.
comic book fans. So
I
where do
don't
we go?
know.
We're going Wild Tales car fight. Me and John, TC, have any objections to that? What do you think?
Yeah, wait. And Wild Tales, you said the car fight which is the movie where, because it was, the Wild Tales was also a bunch of vignettes. They also had the wedding part.
Yeah.
That was kind of a fight
Right?
too.
That
Yeah.
was gnarly. And then they
Yeah.
start making up on the fucking
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah, they
but
start
the whole-
fucking each other on the
that
cake.
that whole wedding segment of that film was spectacular too. So
It
I
was.
wouldn't say the car fight was the only good thing about it.
No, it was,
Um,
that movie was, some parts were very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wild Tales takes
Wild
the cake.
Tales. I think it's
Yeah.
Wild Tales. I don't really have any other points for the other ones. So
Yeah. It's good to recognize things that might not get recognized otherwise, because that isn't up for our best or favorite or any of these other weird random
Yeah,
categories.
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. movie that has aged the best. Jurassic Park, The 400 Blows, Life of Brian, Wages of Fear, It Happened One Night.
Life of Brian is an honorable mention for me, and just in general, like it as a great comedy.
Yeah.
I thought
it'll
would be
never get
another,
old. It's fucking hilarious because it's so stupid.
Well, I'm
And
definitely
it's
not
like
putting
so-
it happened one night.
Why not? We all
Right.
like that one. And that one was made
We
in
did
like the
like it.
40s.
Yeah,
That's
there you
true.
go. So
I put
case
that in there
point.
because it was so old and yet all of us liked it and it was pretty funny
Yeah.
still.
Oh yeah, I like it, but I hate movies past a certain date, so
Right, yeah.
yeah, not happening.
So you're reverting
No,
back to where
sorry.
you were.
Life
There.
1934.
Life
it's the
of
oldest
Brian,
movie
I
we've
think.
ever seen
Life of
on
Brian.
this list.
Yeah,
I think I would vote for Jurassic Park.
Really?
I would go back and vote for the 400 Blows, just like
Damn.
which I basically said the same thing, that like that's part of how fantastic it is that it still feels very relevant and very real and doesn't feel antiquated, even though you could argue that it still puts you back in that time, though. It doesn't pretend to be like modern or anything like that either. So maybe that disqualifies it.
I don't know. I think if someone made that movie now and it was the exact same, it'd be probably even more impressive.
I mean, the story rings true no matter what.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the part that's good. I don't like the outdated look and black and white.
I don't know. I think that
Yeah, fair
Jurassic
enough.
Park was made in, was it 93? And the CG effects, it was like one of the first CG movies. They still look the best out of any CG movie that's like ever been made. Like even Gollum doesn't look as good as the CG in Jurassic Park. The new Jurassic Park movies look like crap compared to the original Jurassic Park.
Hmm.
Huh.
I don't know. Like I think the CG effects, that's why I put it on there.
I think that's a great point. It really is still, it does not feel dated at all, even though it was like one of the first to do what it did
Yeah.
in terms of the CGI stuff. So that,
And you think we'd
we'd
get better at it, but we're not.
Well, no, you know what it
Well-
is that people are getting cheaper. That's what it is.
yeah.
It's that
yeah.
nobody
They're
wants
putting
to
more
spend the
special
money
effects
on
shots in
Yeah.
it
it. Yeah.
so that it's spread thin.
It's part of that is like, it's not just the effects themselves, but how do you incorporate them?
Into the
how
story.
how do you light them? How do you integrate them into the scene? All
Right.
this craftsmanship type stuff.
Cut
that
from a
isn't
CG
just-
shot, would you know exactly what it's going to be? To
Well-
a giant foot that's real,
Not to
Yeah,
mention
yeah.
that we're into these like high def areas now where everyone's
Oh.
eyes are
They
used
have
to
Jurassic Park in
seeing
4K.
really-
They have it in 4K.
No, I'm just mean like the way that we approach VFX now has to deal with the fact that we have like 5K out there and everyone's
Yeah.
eyes are used to seeing all these like sharp images. So a little bit of blur isn't acceptable anymore like it used to be. Because I'm sure even on the 4K render, it still looks a little bit blurry
Yeah, it does.
for those, So they don't do that anymore because everyone's like, oh, it has to be crisp, it has to be clear.
Fuck that. It
It'll
looks
make
fake.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
So yeah, another hard, because I agree with 400 Blows. I would think that movie's pretty timeless. I don't know.
Right.
Life of Brian. Hey.
Life of Brian, sure.
Sure. Movie will be
Religion
funny
doesn't
forever.
get old.
Yeah. The religion's already 2,000 years old, and the movie is
Yeah.
funny 50 or 40 years later. So movie will be good for another couple hundred, probably. This one might be hard, and this one's going to be fun. Best asshole protagonist. There Will Be Blood, Into the Wild, Cool Hand Luke, Gone Girl, Train Spotting.
Gone Girl.
I might agree because I hate Ben Affleck so much in that movie. It pisses me off.
Yeah, he's like the worst part of the whole film.
Yeah.
But is he good? Is he the best?
But is he?
Or
Yeah,
is he the
maybe.
worst?
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe I just don't know how to like think.
Maybe he's
Well,
a
no,
standout
no.
asshole protagonist because he's so friggin' aggravating to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I hate that fucking movie.
I mean, if it's good as in terms of like watchable and enjoyable, I would put There Will Be
Right.
Blood easily.
Yeah, exactly. That's like
but,
kind of easy.
But if it's like, if you want the asshole to piss you off, Gone Girl.
Probably, yeah. I mean, Into the Wild, I don't know. He was still somewhat sympathetic. He just seemed young. I mean, he just seemed immature.
Yeah.
I don't really
Egotistical
necessarily think of
a little bit.
Yeah,
self-centered.
but still, yeah. But which again, like you can identify like being like that when you're like 20 or whatever, and
Yeah.
you've just gone out in the world and you think you're hot shit or whatever. So it doesn't feel as like that's where he necessarily he could have got, if he'd survived, he'd probably like gone on and like gotten a job and things like that. Not that that's necessarily a good thing, but still, he would have gotten less pretentious, I bet, as he got older. So yeah, I don't know. I would go with probably There Will Be Blood just because that's the whole film, and I mean that's why I argue against it to some extent. I mean, I think that he really is the film in a lot of ways, and it is all about how this man is really disturbed and just does not like other people.
Yeah.
and how that, he's really not a good person. There's
Yeah.
no goodness in him.
No, there
none.
isn't.
There's
And he's a
zero, right?
selfish prick.
Right.
And yeah.
And I mean,
There's a
only
competition in me.
the only
Hey, that was good.
that was
You did it.
that was a
Yeah,
little
you
good.
did.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, one of us
Yeah.
got it. Hey.
But that is his
Hey.
only slightly redeeming quality, is his slight awareness of himself. That
But he uses that
him,
like consciously to help himself,
Yes, right, exactly.
which is amazing.
But that gives you that almost gives him a little bit of redemption and almost a little bit of empathy for him, because he has an awareness of it and he talks about it as almost as if he's regretful of it, right?
Yeah.
And so, but otherwise, there is nothing good
Yeah.
in any of his actions.
Well, he kind of. So that's one of the parts of the movie that I like. His relationship with his son. There's traces of him being kind to the son
It's subtle, right?
But it was
And you
early
don't-
on, too.
early
right?
on, and not towards the end, but like early on. Like he does kindnesses to the kid. He doesn't necessarily need to do. He could have dumped him earlier than he did.
Yeah. Good
Maybe,
point.
but he was still useful to him. I don't know.
Oh,
I
true. It made
mean-
him accessible for the people he was going to go run into their world.
But there
and
are
take
shots where you
from
can
them.
kind of see him, like you can see his face in the way he sees his son, and it gives you some small traces of evidence that he has feelings for him.
Right.
He's not completely dead inside. I don't
Well,
think.
he's close.
But that's what makes the movie so good, is you can look into that type of stuff and then interpret it how you will.
Fair enough.
There Will Be Blood. Daniel Plainview. Best asshole in a
Fair
movie
enough.
so far. Scariest moment. Spider Dog in The Thing. Ghosts at Night in The Sixth Sense. I know it's pretty broad, but we can go with that. The Dead Baby in Train Spotting. The Trip Mine Kill in Platoon. And the village burning in a church in Come and See.
Let's move that away. Let's just
That one wins, right? Ding, 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 ding. Village
it does,
burning in a
but
church.
it's too real and scary. Let's go with fun, scary. If we go
Spider
with fun,
Dog.
scary,
Let's go Spider Dog.
I want to go Spider Dog.
Yeah,
'Cause,
let's go
I think
Spider
that
Dog.
was like, and the Thing deserves some recognition for being just a straight out horror film and being so entertaining and
Campy and quality at the same time.
right,
Very
and holding
rare.
up well. Right,
Yeah.
holding up well. So I'd like to.
Spider
I'd like
Dog
special
was,
mention.
it's a good one. I'll go with Spider
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. Spider Dog.
I mean, the
cool.
baby was just depressing.
Yeah. So
You
was
know.
the burning in a church.
Who the hell
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
to think about
Exactly,
dead babies?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
nobody
I mean, the
wants
Trip
to.
Mine Kill was pretty depressing too in Platoon. It was like pretty realistic when the guy's like arms get blown off and he walks
Oh,
out.
that
of
was
thing.
terrifying.
Yeah.
That was pretty terrifying.
I guess
agree.
the good part about the Spider Dog is that it's not real
Yeah.
at all.
right.
How the fuck do you know
Right.
that, dude?
Yeah. I mean, at least we know, arms being blown off, babies dying. Those are things that actually happen.
Yeah.
Spider Dog, that's just an ugly dog. It's still a dog in
It's
reality.
a fucking hideous
Yeah.
dog. It's all that
That's
is.
just hey, imagine going to your friend's house and you see what's the name of that? And they're like, it's Sport. And you're like, looks like a spider dog to me. I don't know.
Fuck that.
No, really.
You sure you didn't want to call that tarantula? 'Cause,
Sport, no. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
yeah, he looks a little furry in his 8,000 legs. I don't know if I like him.
him. Goodbye, Sport.
Yeah, we're gonna say goodbye, Sport.
Good thing about Spider Dog is he eats all the other bugs in your house.
That's right.
Oh, right. Hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
He's Terminex, but for dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
That's
it.
right.
Got it.
This might be a dumb category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweetest
Go ahead.
house. The nominees are Rebecca, The Big Lebowski, the Big Lebowski's house, Gone with the Wind, Grand Budapest Hotel. We'll assume the hotel is his house, and How to Train Your Dragon, the little island house with the.
I'm
fucking
going How to
dragons.
Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon. It's got dragons.
A little
It's
Highland house.
fake.
I don't even understand why you made that a good house. Come
Which
on,
one?
it's a tiny house in How to Train Your Dragon.
But there's dragons there.
yeah, well,
There's
whatever.
dragons
I mean, Rebecca.
that are your
like,
friends at the end. Come on, spoiler.
Yeah. I think it's probably you made up this category because of Rebecca, probably because you loved how.
Which
you loved
one's
the whole
Rebecca? I
sense
don't
of
even
place
fucking
there.
remember this.
The
goddamn
Hitchcock
movie.
one
I-
where they talk in the house with the rooms they
Yeah.
can't go in.
You realize that every
Yeah.
time you have these categories, I have to look each one of these up to
Yeah.
fucking jog my memory. I'm
Rebecca
like,
takes place
"All
almost
right."
entirely inside of a house.
You said Spider Dog, and I was like, what the fuck are these two talking about? Oh, right.
Spider Dog.
God, my brain doesn't work.
Well, to be fair, you've been drinking all day. That doesn't help.
Well, let's not say all day. We'll say
Half
fine,
the
okay.
day.
Half the day.
Since noon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 at lunch, 2 more at the end of the day, couple more now, couple nips. Hi, my name is Terrence, and I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, hey, Terrence.
What's Rebecca?
Hi, Terrence.
Hi.
I realized that I had a problem when I was trying to figure out this house movie that I watched, and I couldn't remember a look of it. And I felt
Denny
bad
said
about myself.
something about a house, and I said, "Who's Rebecca?"
So, John, you are correct in that. That's why I created this.
Yes.
So should that win?
I've seen through your ruse.
I'm going to go with Grand Budapest Hotel, though. I like that cardboard cutout.
Oh, I
Wide
think like
shots.
the whole Wes Anderson look we talked about in the podcast. There's a subreddit for this where everything is so beautifully stylized and colorful. So it just makes like the idea of being in these places just amazing. Like,
It's funny that the people who don't like Wes Anderson are the people who are like, I hate how colorful and symmetrical it is. And you're like, who the fuck are you? Why do you
Why
hate
would
that?
you hate that?
Yeah.
It's fun, yeah.
Hey, could you do that? No. All right, shut the fuck up then.
Yeah, if you decided that's something you dislike, that's just weird because it looks great. I don't know.
It does.
Yeah.
I think it's well thought out. It's really, it's intentional. I mean, I love Wes Anderson. So
Yeah.
I love the
I do too.
miniatures of like the little gondola going up to the hotel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The fact that he doesn't even really try to make it look real. He just tries to make it look good.
There's like a
Right.
like a joy or like you just get a sense that he's really enjoying what he's doing.
Yeah.
And like he's just having fun. And that seems to come through in his films, and that makes them so fun to watch.
And we've
You just-
learned through the commentaries that he's obsessed too. Like his passion is movies. You
Yeah.
know, like even people who make really good movies, their passion isn't movies. All he does is make movies, pretty much.
I envy those people because I don't have much passion at all. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I
go to
would-
work,
I would agree
come
with that.
home, relax. It's
I get
like,
bored of things too quickly, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just saw Isle of Dogs last week. It's excellent.
Oh, it's
You
great.
should
Yeah.
check-
Oh, really?
I loved it. Yeah, it's really cool.
I think it's on Amazon
I
now, right?
know, I know
saw
you
it.
two are cat people, but you'll like it.
I saw that in the
Hey, I
theater.
like the reference.
It's great. The same kind of quality. It's not better, not worse, which is,
No,
isn't that kind of weird? Wouldn't you say like Wes Anderson movies are pretty much all kind of the same in terms of quality? They're all great, but like you're never surprised by how good they are, which is weird.
it is weird. It's not like, wow, that was the best ever. You're like, yep, that's another one of those.
Yeah, I liked it. Very good. Very enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is strange.
So we're gonna go with Rebecca, we're gonna go with Grand
Yeah.
Budapest Hotel. on that
No,
one.
we can do that. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like Rebecca gets an honorable mention as being like the movie about where people moved from one room to another in the house, except for the one room they couldn't go in
Until the
except when
end.
they
And spoiler
did that
alert:
one
everyone's
time.
dead. Spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just found that so funny. It's just the way you fucking said it.
I
was
fucked
like,
it
oh,
up. I
that's-
did the thing wrong. I did the spoilers wrong.
yeah.
It's supposed to go after. The next one. This one might be good. Best on-screen duo. Let me know if you have more. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the Dude and Walter.
No, and Donnie has to be a trio.
But the Dude and Walter have a lot of scenes by themselves. So I
They
put that
do,
in there.
but my
Calmer than
favorite
you.
parts.
Yeah,
my
calmer than you are.
favorite parts about that part.
Well,
are
then
when they're all together
maybe
talking.
you shouldn't vote for that one, John, because this is
I
Ghost
know.
Duo. This is a category
All right,
of the award.
Fine. Anyway,
But to give Donnie some respect, Steve Buscemi and Peter Stormare in Fargo.
sorry, fine, but best trio, dude, Walter, Donnie. The end.
Hey, best trio.
Hey-o.
I'm down with that.
Grand Budapest, Ray Fiennes and the Lobby Boy.
Yeah.
And then also Richard Gere and a dog.
Fuck the Hachi.
I'm voting Hachi. I'm
That
voting Hachi.
dumbass dog, man. I don't know. Go home.
That's a
eat
cute dog.
Fucking bowl.
TZ, is that dog not cute?
Come on. Probably
Cute
one of
dog.
the best looking
Yeah.
dogs in the world.
Yeah, pretty as fuck.
But dumb as fuck and really weak. Go home.
Are we talking
Move
about
on.
Richard Gere or the dog?
Yeah, what about
probably both.
Dare you guys? What about Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert and It Happened One Night?
Ooh, good call. That's not going to win because TC would not vote for that. But I would agree. They're great in that movie.
Yeah.
That doesn't win because we both know that he's definitely not even
Yeah.
going to vote for that. So.
TC got negative points towards the 1934 movie, but
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I don't know,
-30
dude.
fucking.
See, that's why I want it to be do Walter Donnie so that can be best on screen trio, and then I could probably go with Butch Cassidy Sundance Kid for duo.
Duo, yeah. That's a good duo.
yeah.
I don't know.
I wish
still
I was
like
a
that movie
man.
lot.
I wish I was a man like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm just a boy over here. Like,
I wish I was.
wish I was a man. The Butch Cassidy, man, those guys. That's just brute force right there.
Yeah.
Those are what
Doing
men
whatever the-
should look like.
Those were men. Those were fucking men, guys. I'm getting drunk. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
Wet brain over here.
Man. Dude, you're technically your man.
Did you guys know what it's like to be a what? No, Lebowski. What?
So what are we doing? We're creating a new category called a trio, having no other contestants, and then giving the award to the Big Lebowski.
directly to Lebowski.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
You
That's what
nailed
it's gonna
it.
be.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
It's one of my. It's my. I love that film in all kinds of other ways, but I think that's my favorite part of that film is when the three of them are all interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Even when Donnie isn't doing much except like saying something and then being told to shut the fuck up. I just the way that the three of them are talking. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about that movie.
And yet it wasn't on your top 5, John. What the fuck?
Oh.
What the fuck, John?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Bruh.
Yeah, I miss it. Hey, so I have a category,
Okay.
but I don't have nominations for this one. Like, so what is a film that you were really surprised that you loved, that you didn't expect to
Ooh.
like, and you ended up liking?
Let me
on
pull up the
last
list
50?
here.
I am looking at the list because I'm like, I don't know.
So I've got one to start us off. Like
Okay.
Into the Wild.
Yeah,
I
what
was
is it?
really surprised.
Oh, you were?
didn't-
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned that at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's what directed by Sean Penn, who just put out this book
Book
called
the fucking do stuff thing.
yeah.
What is it? What is it? Honey, Bob Honey
Frumpy
who do
Dumpy
stuff?
do stuff.
Bob Honey who do stuff.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Bob Honey, who just do stuff.
Who just do stuff.
You read the reviews on this, and they're just so comical because it's
Oh, yeah,
like
it's
just
bad.
pulling up a review of this, like the Guardian's like repellent and stupid on so many
He
levels.
levels.
Yeah.
I've read
Great.
that one already. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Sean Penn
Oh,
has
man.
talent, man. He's a gifted actor, and he's also a really fine director.
Yeah,
to this
but
movie.
cocaine's a hell of a drug. You know?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I didn't know what to expect out of this, and it was really well done, and it was really well directed. The whole thing was well put together.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
mean, you're right. I can't argue. You're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Going through the list, I think I might say that Network is the one that surprised me the
that
most.
was a good one.
That movie freaked me the
Yeah.
fuck out when we watched it because that movie is prophetic. Like it predicts
Yeah.
the future back in the 70s to a T. And
Yeah.
it's insane. And the acting was really good. There was some really good, like, I remember the scene where like he brings the crazy guy into his boardroom and it's just two people and he like
Oh,
he
yeah,
like
that
freaks
freaks
him
awesome.
out. And then
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he also like breaks the third wall and he's like, am I getting through to you? And he like
Yeah.
comes through and he's like, that scene is insane. Like I can't imagine writing
Yeah.
that scene and having all these pieces of like what, how are you supposed to write that dialogue? Do you write like in like parentheses next to it? Like he's saying this line to, you know,
The audience.
to not the
Yeah.
audience, but to this guy because he's supposed to understand this. Like the script by itself wouldn't seem to make sense, but the way they put it together makes total
That's a good
sense.
point. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Do you think it's like the like when like the guitar line is just amazing and it finishes the song? It's like one of those moments, like where
Yeah.
they didn't even try, but then they just did it and it was like this works
And
perfectly.
it's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I wonder too,
just
Denny,
like
because you're
talent.
right. Like, how do you come up with that and then intentionally write that into the script? Like breaks
I
fourth
assume
wall.
the
in
writer
parentheses.
has to be
Yeah.
working very, very closely with it's Sidney Lumet and Patty Chayefsky, right? We talked about that. I
Yeah.
forget, but they were friends and they worked together.
Yeah, I mean, I
on,
guess it's just trying stuff out and then being like, well, what if we tried this way after thinking about it before? Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
these people are brilliant, and
Right.
they're also
Right.
like not just smart, but super talented. So there's just some, like you say, TC. It's just some talented stuff going on
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
just like happening, and it just
Yeah.
works.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
TC, while you're coherent, what's your biggest
Well,
surprise?
I wonder, like, how about like How to Train Your Dragon? Like, were you like the cartoons you
You're
normally?
putting
hate,
words
I
in his
think?
mouth, dude.
No,
I'm
the funny
trying.
thing is, dude, it would be either Valley of the Wind or probably that.
You like
I mean,
Valley of the Wind that much?
I just never seen much like that before or like had to watch it.
Oh,
So, I
Valley
don't
of the
know.
Wind was in the last 50, by the way. That doesn't
Oh,
count.
I don't give a fuck. All right, next 50. Fuck it.
Wait, it was 201.
Yeah, so that was the last
Yeah.
one of the first 50.
Oh, well, you know I
Oh,
don't know how to
right,
do
right.
math. So anyways,
you
I'm
liked
going to
How to
go
Train
with
Your Dragon,
Hachi.
dude.
I'm going to go with Hachi.
Dude, what about how to so I'm going to go with John now. Put words in your
yeah.
mouth. It's got to be
I'm
the
gonna
Dragon.
go-
God
yeah.
damn it, Danny!
Sorry.
I'm trying to work
Sorry.
here.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at the rest of the list, and there's not much there that I would. Yeah, I don't know. Shit. It's anything old, definitely don't like it.
I can vaguely recall you saying that you wanted to, like, you watched How to Train Your Dragon and you said, I want a dragon.
That's right. I do want a dragon. I'm going with that one. Fuck it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And now the negative ones, John, the ones that you thought might be good, but then were fucking horrible.
Yeah,
But
I
don't.
don't know,
So this
man.
one has to exclude the top three of the bottom. The bottom three.
Oh, well, that might.
So let's do that one
let's see.
afterwards.
Yeah. That's true.
So now,
I mean, we may hit that otherwise. Yeah.
so this one I think we're going to do differently because I want everyone to vent individually on these movies.
All right.
No,
Fine.
I can't on one of them, so I should switch it.
So John, go first, and then TC, you switch it.
So,
while
so
John's-
are we now into our bottom three?
Bottom three movies we've watched from number 200 to 151. Jurassic
All right.
Park to Gran Torino.
Okay, I mean, I have one that's good. I have two that are potentially bad.
Make it
for-
three. Make a top three, and then John will go first. Then you go second.
Okay.
All
So my bottom like,
Third worst.
third worst is Shutter Island.
Hey, that's not a bad pick.
Rant. Do
you
it.
know how I feel about Leo.
I
damn
hate
it.
him.
What about
If only-
Buffalo?
if
What about
Scorsese
Buffalo?
would just if Scorsese would have just fallen in love with some other like actor or not fallen in love with
shit.
Leo. Think about all the other like numerous roles that could be filled in all of his many different films.
But John,
It
you
might be a lot
understand
more
that
fun.
Scorsese would have quit directing if it wasn't for Leo.
What? Really?
He said that.
Get
yeah, he's
outta
like, no, dude, there's a
town.
quote from, I mean, who knows how true it is, but Scorsese was like,
Not
I was on
true.
the edge of retirement, and then I started working with Leo, and he made me keep making movies, which is apparent because he's in every fucking Scorsese movie since the beginning of the 2000s.
What's Leo doing for him? I don't.
Sucking him off. Nice.
I was gonna say maybe providing him with a certain level
Man,
of
I didn't wanna
females.
go there, and I was sort of.
Yeah. It's really fun working with Leo because we party with Leo too, and it's
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
And he has boats, and he has all these
Yeah.
really hot girls on his
Yeah,
boats.
Yeah,
and
so
guess
it's
what?
good.
It's all NDA, so we're good
No.
here.
Yep.
Anyways,
But this movie just seems like such a waste, and it seems like so like not, just sort of sloppily put together, and it doesn't bother to. It could be good if it had some ambiguity about whether it would really happened or didn't happen, but it doesn't even bother to do that, and it just bothered me that it just didn't seem. It seemed like it was a throwaway, like they were just like, yeah, let's do this, and it just doesn't. It just seems half-hearted. And it's not, and I think that's what bothers me more about it is like there's really talented people in this, including I would say Leo's talented, and it just feels like it's just like,
Buffalo.
blah.
I mean, he
Buffalo.
is.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
really.
Buffalo, one of my favorites, right? And everything just seems like nah.
Dude, I would
And-
vote
and they're
Buffalo.
like,
and a
yeah.
side note for an award, Buffalo is the best underdog actor because we saw him in the
Oh.
Avengers too. Fucking Mark Buffalo, he's the shit.
I love Buffalo.
Yeah.
I would go for that too.
I mean, I swear to God, if we ever get to meet him, you have to call him Mark Buffalo.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance I won't?
I mean, it's got to be, it has to go through. And he's going to get pissed, and then you're going to explain it. He's going to go, oh, okay, that's fine.
No, I'm not gonna
I
have enough
don't
time
know
to
if
explain
he does.
myself. He's gonna be on the
Yeah,
move.
but he's
Oh,
not
no,
gonna
I'm
talk to
sorry.
you. Yeah, he's,
You
he'll
never
be
know.
pushed out of the way.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No.
What's
You're
happening?
gonna
We're
grab
gonna
the
have this.
buffalo by the curly, stinky hair, and
Yeah.
you're gonna ride him
No,
into
no.
the sunset.
We're all going to be at a party. We're all going to be at a party, and he's going to talk, and we're going to call him Buffalo.
Holy cow!
Hey, Buffalo, I'm going to ride you into the sunset. What do you think? That's all you're going to say. That's the only thing. It's not going to be, hey, it's Mark Buffalo. It's going to go, hey, Buffalo, I'm going to ride you into the sunset. And you go, what?
And then I'm gonna lash out with my fingers.
So I have a podcast, and when we on the podcast, I do get this guy the fuck out
I'm
of
just
here. That's what
running
it's gonna
next
be.
to him, going like 6-7 miles an hour, trying to talk to him without panting.
Hey, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Hey, Buffalo.
No, seriously, it's a funny joke. Just let me tell you.
Yeah.
Cracking your
Yeah.
voice the whole time.
Anyway,
That's a really good mental image. I'm sorry. I think that's hilarious.
yeah.
I'm fucked. I'm not going to be. I can only do one. I'm only doing one in my
No,
life.
you gotta do 3. I'll go
What?
second.
What the fuck? What are you
DC,
talking about?
figure it out.
Because I
I'm going-
picked
I'm going
two that
second.
are offensive, so I can't do it.
So pick
What do you
2
mean?
more. There's only one we're not
I'm
talking about. So
struggling.
this,
No, and I'm looking at the list, and I'm like, but I don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
hate these movies. How can I put them on the list now? It doesn't make
Wow.
sense.
you gotta figure it out.
It's just least
All right,
favorite.
fine. I'll just
then.
pick some
Yeah.
shitty ones I didn't like. And there's one more that I can't talk about. So I'll pick 2 more.
Really?
I got 2 more.
Wait, what's the one you can't? Other one you can't talk about?
Fucking Gone with the Wind.
You
No,
can talk
I'm talking about that.
I am.
I am. We're talking about that. Keep it on the list. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
I'm going number 3.
All right.
This number
Go
3,
there.
I had between 3 movies, and it was a really, really hard decision.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah, and I think because it was most recent, I
Uh-oh.
have to go Gran Torino.
I was gonna say. I thought that's what you meant after you said recent.
Yeah.
I think that, and there's a good argument to be made about why it should be at number 1, because in terms of a movie being put together and being a quality movie and all of the little tick marks that you can put for a movie, it's the worst. I think it's one of the worst ones we've watched. And
I mean, can't disagree.
the dialogue sucks. The acting sucks. The storytelling sucks.
Yeah.
Like everything about it sucks.
I feel like the
lighting
story
dim.
is literally the worst part.
The story is the worst. Well,
Like
I
once
think,
the
I
story
think
sucks,
the
it's
message,
impossible to act it.
The
well.
message is the worst part.
Okay, I'll go with that. The message of the movie is the worst part. Right.
It's normalizing using racial slurs, which at the baseline is a terrible thing, and you shouldn't fucking do that.
It's like, but racist guy learns better.
No, but it's teaching the lesson. Like, oh, if
It's
you
really strange. This movie just felt like an amateur production.
Yep.
And so in some ways that almost like made me just sort of like forgive a lot. Just be like, even though it's like Clint Eastwood is a major Hollywood star directing this
Dude,
thing.
I love Clint Eastwood, and it makes me respect him less watching this movie.
Well, sure. It just seems like, again, another sort of like lazy production sort of thing. But yeah.
And it's all about him too. It's like it's kind of supposed to be like autobiographical, and he sings.
Well, it's
and
also
like
his death is like his goodbye to acting.
yeah.
You know,
but then it's not because I still got a couple good years left of me. Oh, I'm fucking Clint. Clint. Yeah. Look at me. I'm the fucking man.
He was talked out of retirement. They pulled him back in.
Should I play piano and sing? Would it be good? Oh, yeah, it would be good. And they're just like, yeah, Clint, just sign my check. Just sign my check, Clint. I just got to get paid, Clint. Yeah.
Gran Torino.
Oh,
What is this? What is this? Tom Waits? What is this? Tom Waits here?
Hey, guys, Tom Waits. Yeah. Well, I don't know who that voice was. What voice was that? I don't know what that. Yeah.
Don't know why I did that. I apologize. TC number 3.
Hachi.
Hachi.
That's on
What's
the
wrong
list.
with Hachi, TC?
He's a dumb
Yeah,
dog.
what's wrong with Hachi?
He's a dumb
you don't
dog.
like dogs, do you? You don't like loyalty?
No, and I hope my friend is listening because fuck Hachi. She's gonna be so mad at me right now. I don't know. I honestly, I had 2 things I can't talk about on this list, so I grasping at straws here.
So that's fair. I would say that Hachi has in no way any place on a list of the 250 best movies of all time.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's
There's
the
no
same.
chance.
It's really
Yeah.
like
That's the
Hachi
same.
is like a Hallmark movie. It's a Lifetime movie.
Yes.
It's like a Saturday matinee on ABC or something.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible.
It's so.
I mean, it is terrible, but it's not
I don't think
hateable.
it's terrible. It's just nothing. It's just fluff.
Well,
it's
so then it's
really-
okay that I have it on the bottom.
Absolutely, it is.
Oh yeah. I know it is, but it's really it's just sort of it's almost kind of empty. It's just like, hey, there was a dog that waited around for its master after he died one time. Wasn't that nice?
And a really expensive dog, mind you.
It's nice.
Yeah, very rare puppy.
Yeah, puppy.
Very
But
rare.
yeah, hey, the dogs were fantastic actors in that film. The old dog, that dog acting old was brilliant. But yeah, I mean, I
I think
still
we
see your
just
point.
dissed what's his name by accident by saying
What?
that. Greer or whatever, right?
Oh, Garrett? No,
Yeah. It's like,
the dog-
these dogs were great, but the people, not so much.
Well, all Gear had to do was just act like warm and gentle. That's all he did. He just kind of be, there's nothing there.
They're like, don't worry, dude, you die early. You're good.
I mean, just like nothing really happens in the film. It's like, yeah, he dies and the dog waits for him. That's really the whole thing.
That's it.
That's the whole thing. They try to create other tension and whatever, and it's just all fluff.
Look, George Costanza's
can
taking
see-
tickets. We got Greer
Yeah.
with fucking, or Gear, whatever his name is,
Greer.
Richard Pamela Greer. His middle name is
He's got
Pamela.
this guy. He's going to a train. His wife doesn't like him. Dog hates him. I mean, loves him. Who knows? I
They
can do without that
incorporate
movie.
dog noises into their fucking bed talk.
I'm surprised. Well, maybe this will be your number 1. I don't know. Denny has a fierce hatred of Hachi too, so I don't know.
I don't know about hatred. I just don't think it
I
deserves
do
to be in the
have
list.
a category of. We didn't do a category of worst movie dog, did we?
Oh,
No, you
there's
did
a
best
worst movie dog.
I think, and you put Hachi there.
We didn't talk about Amores Perros' dog, Richie.
Oh, right. That was a damn good movie.
What about the Pomeranian?
Pomeranian.
Yeah.
Number 2, John. Number 2, John. Number 2, John.
Number 2, John.
Gone Girl.
Oh,
Ooh.
that was one of the ones that I was teetering on number 3, John.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know it really impacted TC. There's like an impact to this movie, which sort of speaks to something.
That's what I was going to say, but I was going to let you talk first. But
Yeah, TC, you said yes on the top 250 on that one.
yeah,
Which is
right,
surprising.
because
totally
it
agree.
really enlisted some fucking pain,
Yeah, it
Like,
really got you some feelings, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's just such bad parts of this film, bad acting in some ways. And,
Ben Affleck. Only Ben
and
Affleck.
also just
Affleck.
bad, it's like annoying decisions of like leaving the blood on her when nobody, when that would never happen.
God, I hate
it
that
just seems
fucking movie.
there's parts of it that just bothered me to no end, and then just the absurdity of it all.
Ben
when
Affleck.
people like, yes,
Ben Affleck.
You know he's in rehab right now. He's trying to get his shit together.
All right, personal thing.
let's give him a
That's too
break.
bad for him. But he shouldn't be a
Yes.
fucking actor. He's like, actors get to be criticized
Oh,
by
come
people.
on. He was great in Good Will Hunting. Go fuck yourself.
No, he wasn't. He was fine in Good Will
No,
Hunting.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's
We'll
coming
get
up in
to
a
it.
few. It's coming up in a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just this movie just irritated
See,
me a lot.
I couldn't put that movie on my bottom 3 because it fucked with me so much that
Right, then and I totally get that.
Ben
That's like it still has an impact, right?
Affleck.
And you can't deny that means there's some kind of power to it, right?
Impact. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck.
it rhymes. It's thing. It's the same. It's the same thing. Fuck that shit.
Rosamund Pike was really good. And some of the shots were really good. The music was pretty
some
good.
of the shows were good. Some of the material, the media, there were good parts to it. There were just more. When I look back on this film, annoyed me more than a lot of others.
They didn't call the
were
cops
just-
when they
were-
found all the shit in their fucking
Right, they were
stupid
just-
thing. Like,
Yeah, exactly. There were just really annoying parts to the way the plot unfolded, really annoying parts to some decisions that they made that were so unrealistic that didn't have to be made. I think that sort of stuff just really bothered me about the film. And there's still good parts, and you're right, Rosamund was awesome in her role. And there was some really good acting. The way they did the media part, the Nancy Grace parody was really well
that was
done.
good. Aggravating, but good.
Yeah,
As intended.
but I still think what pisses me off is like Fincher is an astonishingly good director, and it just feels like some parts of this were just like not thought out. And part of that being Ben Affleck, I guess, too, as well, right? But
And it was probably because they had the studio behind them because they probably spent a lot of money on the rights to the book because the book was really popular. So the studio
Right.
was probably on his ass.
You nailed it.
yeah. So I don't know but to me, it was an aggravating movie. I didn't like. I was annoyed watching it.
I hate that
Agreed.
fucking movie, dude. I really
Agreed.
do. I hate it. And I got into an argument at work with people about it because they fucking love it. And they're like, dude, it's the most amazing movie. Like, it hits every single point you're supposed to hit in drama. It hits every single point like with like the character arcs. I'm like, dude, the movie's fucked up. That shit's fucked up. The way they treat each other's fucked up, and the movie sucks. Fuck
Yeah.
you. You know, so like
On
you're
top of
your
it
mind,
all,
man.
the movie
You know
is
what I mean?
not
The
good.
movie's not even that good.
Yeah.
And on top of it, like, how could you even watch this and say to yourself, no, this is just a story? Like, it is literally the worst part of both sexes. Hate that
Yeah.
fucking movie. I'm never watching
Agreed.
it again.
TC, you're number 2?
Gave up on that.
Gave up on it.
Yeah.
I'll go number 2. Keep at it, TC.
I'm
You got
looking
2
at
more.
all the lists, and I'm just like,
Keep
I
at
don't
it.
know. I don't know. I literally have to click on the fucking thing, copy it, look up what the movie is, and go, oh, yeah, no, that one's all right. Never mind. Like, I don't even fucking remember any of these movies.
All right, so I'll go. You figure it out on your end. My number 2 is Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
This movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was my number 1 before, but I didn't want to talk about it.
Now we're going to talk about it. Keep it at number 1,
You're
dude.
talking about it. Dude, that's
This
fine.
movie, I think, would be my number 1 if it wasn't so important to films in some ways.
Ah.
Like Birth
feel
of a
like I need
Nation
a
was
shower
important
with
too,
that.
right?
Exactly.
Even though
Yep.
it was like racist trash, it
Yep.
was the technical aspect of it was groundbreaking, right?
And there are some shots that look really nice. The colors are really nice. Some of the set pieces, like the dead soldiers, when it pans out and you have like 10,000 people on screen or whatever the fuck number that is impressive. Stuff like that. Movie's 4 hours long. It has some really bad acting in it. It is racist, sexist,
Mhm.
pro-rape. There are just like, when I say pro-rape, it's not like
That's
gung-ho
like pro,
for rape,
but-
but it's like there's
No.
marital rape where the woman likes it. So whatever you
Yeah.
want to take out of that.
Right.
Preach, man.
Yeah. The movie sucks. It's boring. It doesn't
It's
have a
awful.
point. It's not saying
I hate
anything
it.
valuable to anybody. People who
Nope.
like this movie are fucked up, I think. I think if
I
you're listening
agree.
to this and you think that you're like, oh, I like the movie, fuck you. Seriously.
I agree. I agree. I'm in. I'm totally sold on this. I love this. Denny, I love where you're going with this. Keep on going.
Subscribe,
Yeah.
you know.
This movie is fucked up and should no longer be watched and should not be heralded as a classic.
Like, listen, that was my number one. I'm just gonna go ahead and tip my hand because I could not say it stronger than you just did,
No,
Denny.
passion. It was real there, my friend.
Yes. So
Great.
I
Great.
just I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from that. So
Yeah, I got a
Do you wanna
number
add anything
two.
to that?
I got a number, whatever. What
I
number
don't
are we
think I
on?
can add to it. It's just only I could just repeat what you said. So I wouldn't necessarily go forth to try to piss off the listeners as much because.
But you agree.
I got a good one.
But
I
you
got a
agree.
good one. I got a good
Yeah.
one.
Okay. So yeah, but that definitely I share the same sentiments, and that's why it's my number
Agreed.
one. I feel like the combination of its supposed goodness with what it really is what's so aggravating about that film. Like that people still cherish it or whatever is really aggravating to me, and that's why I put it as number one because it should not be given the status that it has.
It's the
And-
same shit that used to happen when you go to fucking film school and there's these old fuckers being like, no, this is what's amazing for film. You have to listen to me. And you're like, screw you. This is terrible. They're like, no, you don't understand film, men. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. The pretentious bullshit
Right.
that this has crafted our filmmaking. Fuck that. I don't give a shit. This movie's terrible. I don't want to watch it ever again in my life. The fact that they used to show this to kids in school where I went is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just glad I was in that class.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
Anyways,
enough. Yeah.
I'll pipe down.
No,
I
pipe
agree.
up.
Again,
Pipe up.
I think it's good. I agree. Again, there's the technical artistry of it, which is important to some extent to recognize. But then again, so is Birth of a Nation, which is a horribly racist film. And there, you can separate those things, and that does not mean that this is something that needs to be watched.
Right.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. That's
And,
some nice,
and that all of that
pleasant way
on
to
top
put
of
it.
the fact that the basic plot of the movie is a pointless romantic, not even comedy,
Right.
just a romance movie. That's
no,
shit.
and not even, but a romance amongst like not like immoral people, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with like portraying immorality or people that aren't very good, but for some reason the film seems to twist it as
glorifies
if it's
them.
a good thing.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah.
really annoying. It seems wrong. I mean,
glorifies
I-
the South, makes it like there are statements in the movie where it's like this is the ideal world that no longer exists. It
Right,
says it in the opening
right.
crawl. It says like
Right.
this
Yeah.
is the world that we wish we had, but we don't have it anymore. So now this is a dream, and watch
It's
this
some
fucking amazing
weird
movie.
So-
white person
right.
utopia that involves holding other people down.
Yeah,
all in the name of love and bullshit.
Right,
Fuck
and it
you.
implies that these are good people, and that's like that they should be respected and admired and emulated, and that's the other thing that's really disgusting.
Yeah.
So again, it's just
shit. I should have put that
I'm-
as number one, but I'm not going to.
TC,
TC, do you have number two?
Interested.
Yeah, I'll go with Rush. I thought that movie was a waste of my time. I didn't. That
Rush?
movie was such a fucking like.
So first of all, this is TC looking through the list quickly right now because
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah.
have a list.
And then seeing
Yeah.
it and being like, "Oh, that movie, right?"
You
I
didn't
couldn't
like
care
that
less.
movie?
Oh, I just couldn't care less about it.
It was
That's
fun.
what I'm saying. No,
Wow.
but on the list of other things that we're watching, like it just doesn't have any weight in comparison. It's such a
What about
like a frill movie.
what
like
about-
it's
what about fucking Cool Hand Luke?
sure. Let's throw Cruel Hand Luke on there
Yeah.
too. I mean, shit. I don't give a fuck. I'll throw
I'm sorry.
Cool Hand Luke under the
yeah,
bus.
Yeah, let's throw
Yeah.
a cool hand instead of
Yeah.
Rush, man, because I totally get where you're coming from in some ways, but man, Rush really sucked me in, and I don't know.
It was
See, I
not
think maybe I
terrible.
just don't like racing.
maybe,
So I'm like,
but
I don't care.
I don't care about racing either, but that movie was constructed in a way, and I know, like, I disagreed with both you guys on it in terms of my feelings about it. That movie totally sucked me in, and it was I had already seen it, and the
Really?
second time I was completely taken in by it, and that alone made me really respect it.
All right.
Just
Well,
because
I got nothing,
respect
man.
this movie
It's
because
number
it was
two.
tailored for my tastes. Exactly.
It's number
Yeah.
two. It's poop. Go fuck yourselves.
Keeping Rush. Keeping Rush.
I'm keeping Rush as
Okay.
number two.
Fair enough.
You did that, man. That is totally your call, and I respect you for that.
And just for like Denny said, I'm looking at a list that I didn't even make, and there we go. So
John, did you go number two? What was your number two?
put
Well,
Mary and
so,
Max in there
I
next.
had Gone Girls number. Hey, all right, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, Mary Max. So my number one. You guys didn't put this on
Yeah.
there?
What is it?
Persona
What?
is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, fucking Persona, dude.
Really?
Fuck that movie.
Persona is only an hour and 23 minutes, and I would rather watch Gone with the Wind again in its entirety
Really?
than watch
All right,
Persona
so I have
again. Persona
I have something to say. Persona's on my bottom list.
Yeah. So Persona is, I think, the definition of why people hate art house movies because Persona. I think it's not like you guys will disagree with me on this, but 8.5 I thought was a quality movie.
Oh, I will. Disagree with you on that.
8.5 was like number 2 on your bottom last time.
Yeah,
But
so let's do 8.5
I think-
again, but yeah.
I'm in the camp where so maybe it's just it's different enough where there's a different camp, but I don't know. I feel like I should be in the camp that would like Persona, and I hated it because there's nothing in it that makes any sense. There's like no direction. It's meandering. He's using his power as someone who's respected in the artistic community to just
do
make whatever
he
the fuck he wants to do.
and say that there's meaning to it.
Yeah,
like
and there's not.
It's like, why did you do that? And on one hand, it's probably was just random. He's like, let's do this. But then in the like analysis of it, it's like, oh no, you see, this is so like as if there's some real thought to it.
It's
when actually he was
pretentious.
just doing
It's the
random
most
stuff.
pretentious movie I've ever seen in my life. And
So I had Gone with the Wind as 2 and Persona as 1.
Nice.
Because I'm so dumb, I wasn't
All
looking
right.
at my own fucking list. I was so
Okay.
concerned with the other one that I didn't have. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
number 1 was Persona for you too?
Yes.
Hell
that was number 1.
Yeah.
It's
Expand.
something. It's X, and then it's Gone with the Wind and Persona.
I like the idea of what Persona was trying to do.
Can we let TC rage for a minute? I want to hear it.
Go rage.
I
Go,
mean,
DC.
I don't know. Persona was just fucking weird, dude. I just thought it was.
Fucking weird, man.
It was
Fucking
weird
strange,
because it's
bro.
like it has nothing to fucking do with anything. It was just a complete, like you said, it's like a circle jerk. It's a bunch of LA fucks in their mindset of like, creating something new. It's so artistical. No, it fucking there's no art here.
it's
It's
not.
just bullshit.
It's bullshit. It's boring.
it's bullshit.
It's bland.
and
it's
because you have
stupid.
clout, you're able to convince all these other fucking idiots that it's something amazing.
Yep.
Bullshit. It's like when you go to like an art gallery and you see a circle, or in that commercial, you see a circle on a painting. He goes, "Nope, that's just a gray dot." Like it's not art.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
give
Yeah,
a shit.
and the people
what you
that
guys
are
are
saying
saying.
that aren't able to explain why the dot is so great. They're just like, oh my God, it's a giant dot. It's amazing.
feel like I'm in a circle. It's great.
That's the same way that
it's a great dot, dude.
I think I mentioned that I went and like did a fucking giant scan on the internet of reviews of users who voted for this movie. They don't know what they're talking about. They're stupid. They
Yeah.
like all they do is describe plot points and say, and then end it with like, this movie is amazing. And you're like, what
Look,
the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and I'm all for like, the interpretation of film for each person, right? Like if you feel that, that's great. But there is nothing from that goddamn movie that I felt was worthy of anything other than this is a circle jerk.
Yes.
That's it. Rant.
All right. So
done.
John, what do you defend it if you want?
I can defend it a little. I wasn't as disturbed by the film. I do feel like there's like just random shit that he did, and he's like, oh, it's a poem. It's it's a visual poem. As opposed to like So he just sort of like stuck whatever to the wall that he wanted to stick to.
You
and-
said, John, that it was like a diamond commercial or something, like a cologne commercial or something.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
exactly what it
Definitely had that
was.
feel.
If you've ever seen
Yeah.
a commercial where someone's standing in the middle of like a sunny door frame with with something in their hands, like posed in a certain way, staring off in the distance, and the shades
Right.
are blowing in the background, and nothing really is going on, but it looks kind of fucking arty or something. That's what this movie is for an hour and 23 minutes.
And it's I mean, I can't really argue with it. I think there were some interesting ideas in terms of the sort of switching of the way the plot unfolded that I thought was kind of interesting, and the perspective of like the there was like the one who had like did everything as they're supposed to have done and had led like the more ideal life versus the actress, and I thought some of that was interesting, but I agree. I mean, it's a worrisome thing, but I felt like 8.5 kind of did this too, where like, you get these auteurs and they do whatever they want, and they're just like, oh, they're a genius. So
I'll defend
whatever they're
8.5.
doing
If
is-
you listen to
I
the
know.
commentary for 8.5, there is direction
I know.
behind everything
You're right.
that he
You're
does,
right.
and this movie has
And
none of that, which is
and that
which
is fine.
removes it completely, from the
That
same
is fine.
category.
No, I
think.
agree, and but maybe you just didn't get like the good commentary that could explain all this too. I
No,
don't know.
I looked up everything
But, yeah.
for Persona. I bought
yeah,
the thing.
couldn't
I
get it.
watched it 2.5 times I watched the commentary. I watched the making
Oh
of.
man,
I read
Your
everything about it.
dedication-
So you
your
saw the
dedication
dick
to
like
to
3
the film is
times?
amazing.
I saw it 2.5 times, this movie.
Hey, so we're gonna take a dick, we're gonna take a lamb, we're gonna take a nail.
So what I did,
hear
I
me
think
out.
What I
hear
did
me
was
out.
I watched it, and then I watched it with commentary on, and then I watched it again, like looking for the things, because they pointed out things like, "Oh, this is supposed to mean this," and I started watching it again. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It
Doesn't
work.
mean that.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, doesn't mean that. Sorry.
And this is just who are we? But
I don't like that movie. It is on my list as
the number one, and that's it.
Yeah, I
We're
mean, we're something.
Honorable mentions. Best honorable mentions. I have a list of 5 movies for myself that I wanted
does
to
that
put at
even
number
mean?
5. DC has nothing problem with this.
Movies that didn't make
Yeah, I
the
got nothing.
top 10, top 5 list that you just kind of thought about putting on there but didn't.
Yeah. Do you have a
Yeah.
number? John?
No, I meant what does that mean because I didn't do it.
Right.
Not because
yes.
I understand what it means. I just
Oh,
I
I see.
didn't do it. I have
Don't
no
worry.
honor.
I
I have
did
no
it.
honorable mentions. Go.
Go, Denny.
For the best ones, I had Fargo,
Yeah.
Okay,
Train Spotting,
that's good.
No Country for
Yep.
Old Men,
Stop.
Jurassic Park.
Should have been higher. No
And
country should have been higher,
Network.
but whatever.
Network.
John?
I didn't actually make a list, so I am now actually doing a TC and
Hey,
going over the
Do
list.
you want me to do my
join
bottom
me.
3 first while you
Um,
make your list?
I would put like Stand By Me as something we haven't talked about, which I think was notable.
Another Reiner. You want to put the Reiner on there? Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Reiner guy, but also another ensemble cast, the sort of youth coming of age stuff, which I think I think that's like a classic film in terms of like portraying that. Mad Max was another honorable mention for me because
Yes.
I did think of it as just a spectacular film for what it was, as just being a pure action film.
And what was it?
Amazing
The best movie ever made.
on,
John.
It's debatable.
for Denny.
Yeah.
Right. That we can agree on.
Yeah.
I mean, Life of Brian for me was another honorable mention.
Yes.
What about Platoon?
because, I mean, to me, How to Train Your Dragon is an honorable mention to me just because it
What about Hachi? No, Amores Perros.
That's a great one.
That one I liked.
It is
That
good.
one I liked. Grand Budapest
How to Train Your
Hotel.
Dragon. John, you
Yeah.
want to talk about it a little bit? I can
Ooh,
tell.
I do like How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I just think that it was a surprise. I in a lot of ways, I think it was a surprise for the industry as well. It just worked, and it
Only
dealt
in the
with
way
some-
that it was a Pixar movie that made money.
right. Well, it wasn't Pixar,
Right,
I mean,
right.
yeah,
No,
it was
sorry. A non-Pixar
right?
movie that
Right.
made money.
Right,
That was the only
exactly.
surprise, right?
Well, no, the surprise was just how it really resonated and how it told an interesting story.
Yeah.
And dealt with some slightly complex issues that you wouldn't necessarily expect an animated film to expect to deal
Honestly,
with.
I told people
that
to watch
wasn't
it.
a Pixar. Yeah,
I did.
so it's
People watch
yeah.
it because I told them to.
Right, but you're saying
Hey.
it does all these things with the asterisk that says it's also not a Pixar. Like Pixar does this all the
Right.
time, but here's another studio that can do
Yeah,
this. It's
Pixar
not
does it all
Pixar.
the time, but they don't.
Right,
hold
but
it.
that's,
They also don't hold. They aren't for some reason able to hold the middle of their movies together. For I don't know why, but anyway, this movie is great from beginning to end, and I enjoy watching it.
That's
over
an
and over
interesting
again.
little.
No, John falls
introspective
asleep
there.
during Pixar's in the middle. That's all that is.
Yeah. Some reason there's something wrong with the middle of Pixar's movies.
Yeah,
and for me.
you might have to just look at the time you start them.
John, I've heard you say
It
it so
may be
many
my
times.
problem.
I think I agree with you on that point for some reason.
Yeah. See,
I don't fall asleep, but
I wonder what
I
it
do
is.
think the beginning is and ends. I mean,
Do
they
you
know
think
what
they
parts.
bookended on purpose?
I mean,
or,
that's all you remember is the beginning and the end. You want
or
to
they
start the
come in
movie,
strong and then they lose it.
dude. You want to start a movie because the beginning is good, and you want to end the
Yeah.
movie and leave the movie feeling good.
Right,
Like, who
right.
cares
Sure.
about the middle?
Right.
Doesn't
I
matter.
guess so. But I get bored during the middle, and this is like with the Pixar films that we watch over and over with Sam, with my daughter. It's like here's the middle parts.
Yeah.
So
Hey, honey,
Um,
you can keep watching. I'm gonna go get something to drink.
yeah, I suppose those are my all my Train Spotting, of course.
Train Spotting,
I
I
just
agree. Yeah,
Love that.
that's
Also best like soundtrack that's not an original score by far.
Yep.
And yeah, that's about it as far as my honorable mentions.
What about Hachi?
Best.
The dog, man. That dog waited.
Hey,
Was
man.
that dog was loyal.
Did you see the way he
Dude.
crawled up the stairs and pretended to be old as a dog?
Dog, bruh.
I mean,
Could you
that's,
take
that would be hard
direction
as
like
a human,
that?
but
Come
he was a dog.
on.
Oh, well, so
Yeah,
another
right.
in contrast to see Rush is another honorable mention for me because it's a film I don't expect to like. It's about a topic I don't necessarily care about. and I just was really engrossed by it.
I
And,
wasn't.
and so I know, but for whatever reason, for me, like that film, it just showed like for whatever Howard did or however it was constructed really worked for me to make me just like I started watching it. I was like just really into it again, and that to me is really impressive. And so that for me that makes that film like another honorable mention.
I didn't like that one.
Especially when it's not as factually accurate as it could have been. And that usually pisses me off to no end. So I still went along with it and was happy to watch it, even though it was factually
You're
inaccurate.
admitting
You got
that
a
the
man
movie
crush on
brainwashed
Thor.
you. Yeah.
You got a man crush on Thor. That's all it is.
Or
You see
Frederick
Thor,
Zoller,
and you're
one of the two.
No, Zoller. No,
Zoller, he's got
Zoller.
the Zoller.
I fucking
crush.
love Zoller, dude.
He's so
Zoller,
good in
yeah.
that film.
Yeah.
He's just
What about
So,
Cool Hand Luke?
Do you have TC? I'm going to skip you, I guess.
Yeah, don't bother with me.
John, bottom 3 honorable mentions, dishonorable mentions.
Oh,
This,
actually, I could probably get this one down.
Yeah, do it. Kill Bill. I'll put Kill Bill on there.
Hey, you know what's
Kill-
funny,
that's
dude?
interesting.
Is I remember watching Kill Bill when it first came out. You know, back to being serious here, and I thought I liked it, and then I watched it again, and was very underwhelmed.
Are you mimicking? Are you saying the thing that my brain is telling me right now? Because those are the words I would have used to describe how I feel about Kill Bill.
yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like I don't know what it was about maybe the age that I saw it in or
I
what.
think
but-
it was riding the Tarantino like popularity momentum at the time. Where you go into it being
okay.
all excited about this is going to be Tarantino's next
It's a
film.
morale
and you
thing.
want to like it. You're like
Yeah.
excited to see it, and that he was at the top of his game,
Right.
supposedly.
That's a
right?
good
I
point,
mean,
John. That's a good point.
Was he? Because he went off Jackie Brown, and that movie didn't do great. I mean, it was like regarded well, but
Right.
Yeah, I love Jackie Brown. It wasn't as much of a critical or as much of a popular success, I guess, but I thought Jackie Brown was great.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown is fantastic. But
not
yeah,
on
I
the,
think,
not on
John,
the top
you're-
250. That's fucked up.
John, you're really hitting something there. I think that you're right. It's like a morale thing. Like you're so used to it being good that you just assume you convince yourself no matter what this person's God and they're going to do great. And sometimes they don't. But I liked it as a kid. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's just age. You know, like
No,
actually not getting it. I don't know. Like never seeing
TC,
anything
you
like
were
it
in
before.
college when you watched this, right?
Yeah, right. But
Yeah,
I was just.
so
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it.
I don't know if
before
you were
this,
like
is
me
what I'm
at
saying.
the time. Like I didn't watch that many movies during this period of time in my life. But like
Yeah.
everybody in college is all trying to be intellectual and shit. So everyone's like Tarantino's the best director of all time. And this movie's coming out when I'm in college. So
Well,
it's
and this
like,
was the height of the wire in like kung fu, like current kung fu, right? I mean, like moving people around and they're walking up walls and they're doing all this shit. Like I don't know if I had seen that before in a movie, and now I'm used to it because it's in every fucking movie.
yeah.
I don't know. I agree. I have no idea why I used to like it more than I did when we watched it for
Same.
this podcast.
I feel the same way. Confusing.
Hey, like Ben Hur would have been another dishonorable mention.
That's
for
a
me.
good dishonorable mention. I'll take that one.
But what
I'll
about
hate
the
on that
chariot
one.
race, man? It's so good.
That fucking chariot race, man.
It's so
Terrible.
good.
There's some spectacular Hollywood stuff, but then you've got another 3 hours of
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Like you got to really sit through some shit to get
Yeah,
one
yeah.
good little nugget here and there.
yeah.
I'm gonna say it, guys. Cool Hand
What?
Luke. What the fuck?
Hey.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Why? I mean, I didn't hate it, but like, what the fuck? The movie's not good.
It was a disappointment. It's one of the ones I was like looking forward to seeing. It's like Paul Newman. It's like real well regarded. It's kind of a rebel movie. I love Paul Newman, but at the same time I thought, I don't know. It just seemed it was just a very it was a real disappointment. I think it falls into that category like the movie I expected to really like and then didn't and was sad about that. I agree. That's definite dishonorable mention. It just was not what I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a
describe
pretty
the
stupid
movie.
story.
How would you describe it? It's like, oh, the guy does something stupid, goes to jail, eats a bunch of eggs, digs a hole, and that's the end of the movie.
Two
Hey,
things like
the eggs
like
thing,
one,
though.
one it's like trying to describe some kind of like human spirit story plus like isn't Paul Newman just awesome?
Look at his fucking eyes. Don't you love
Look at
him?
that. And and then look at his smile. All right, look at the smile, look at the eyes, look at the smile, look at the eyes.
I mean,
It's just
there's no
amazing.
way to question that because the ending of the movie is a montage of his
Yeah.
smile and the guy going,
Right.
his smile, his fucking smile.
And you should taste his Italian dressing. I'll tell you. Woohoo! That shit is the best on the market. You got his eyes on the bottle. and you're
Italian?
looking at the bottle, and you're just looking at the Italian dressing. No, he just makes a shitload of fucking dressing.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Hey, it is non-profit, man.
I got nothing else for my list, guys. This is the longest episode we've
thank
ever
God.
done.
Whew.
Guys,
It's such a long episode that
I
I'm
just wanna
fucking
say-
hammered by
I just
now.
want to say
Yeah.
I'm drunk, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate
I
you
love
both
you
a
both.
lot.
That's where you're at as far as your drunk.
No,
level.
I planned on saying this in the beginning.
Listen.
You guys deal with my shit a lot, and I'm keeping this in the podcast so people can understand.
Hey,
Uh,
it's not really that bad, to be honest.
It's not that bad,
Yeah.
but still, it's something.
It's part of the fun,
mildly
man.
tyrannical. Yeah.
I try.
I mean, tyrannical would mean that he forces us to actually do things.
I know. Mildly.
Yeah, we
It
just do
badgers
it.
us to
We,
do
you
things.
know why we do these things, Denny? To shut you the fuck up.
Yeah.
Do you? If you wanted to shut me up, you wouldn't do this at all. You would have to hear
No.
me.
It's
Yeah,
easier.
true.
Trust me, it's easier. You don't fight the man. You just fucking acquiesce.
Yeah. You go in the man.
Yeah, you go with him. You go
Ah,
with him. You're like, you
nice.
got you. We got you. Nah, we behind you. You know that. Come on.
We're going to be changing the podcast to the top of 1,000 movies of all time.
Hey,
from
so hi
fucking
guys,
what's it
I'm
called.
Denny, and unfortunately Terrence and Sean are gone, but no big deal.
Here's a trivia. Hey, what do we think about that? Anyone?
So I'm
John-
watching.
Show no response.
Yeah,
John at
there.
one point suggested that the trivia part was done just by me. I'm like, no.
No,
Oh, so hey,
Oh, wait,
you
it
sticking
is.
around for the trivia? Nobody else? All right,
Yeah,
here we
I
go.
know.
Hey.
We're gonna
So-
list off things.
so
Here's
one
happened.
time I looked at this thing and it had said this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
suggestion, John. Great
Yeah,
suggestion.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we love you too, bub. You know that. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, this is again. It's hard to do sometimes just because of life and schedules
Dude,
and all that shit. But
This is a
Yeah.
defining experience in our lives. Think about that.
And like John said, sometimes this stuff is hard, but you know what? It's like probably the most consistent thing in my life right now, besides going to work every day. So it's a good
And
time.
it's fun.
Fun.
Most of the time.
yeah,
I
it
get,
is
I get to
fun.
watch movies that sometimes are good and most times suck. But you know, that's
Yeah.
the here to there.
That's just the life of somebody who doesn't like movies, TC. It's your fault
No,
for signing up
I
for
think
this
the
fucking
list
thing.
is gonna get better. It's gonna
It's
be
not. It's gonna
fine.
get worse, man.
Yeah.
This. So I think.
No.
So I want to talk about this too, real quick.
Okay,
I thought
okay.
I had more movies I disliked in this 50 than the last 50.
Oh, I had way more movies I
Really?
liked in this 50 than the
Yeah, I
last.
didn't. I had more movies that I liked in this 50. I
Oh.
think too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a feeling.
That's
I mean, I have to say
interesting.
the list was easy to choose for the ones I liked. It was like boom, boom, boom. All right, that was easy. And now I was like, oh, can I pick those two? I don't
Mine was more
know.
extremely polarizing. Though the top and the bottom were harder to pick. for
Oh
this
wow,
one.
that's
Hmm.
interesting. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Good Will Hunting coming up, so I'm fucking
Number one already set. There we go.
done.
Done.
Boston.
Boys,
Done.
wicked smack.
So I think that's it. What else? Anything else?
Hey,
What do you
I
think?
mean, I just want to say I appreciate you guys too. Denny, you do a lot of work for this cast. And
Yeah, you do.
When you do all the editing, you help organize this, and I know we get annoyed. I get annoyed sometimes because you're pushing us, but man, this is worth it, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I mean, I'm looking forward to another 150 episodes.
I'm
so
glad
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hear
yeah.
it.
And I do not get annoyed with it because I know how little I do. So
Well, TC,
I'm like, "Ah,
you've
I'm good."
initiated. John, I ask for help, and TC, I'm like, I'm not gonna ask TC. For it.
yeah, exactly. See, I have a good like
You
thing
put yourself
going
in
on
the best
here, like-
position out of
yeah,
all three of
I'm
us
like,
on this
yeah,
podcast.
no, you're not gonna get me to do shit. I'll show up on
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
I'll see ya.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
So,
me and John are
uh,
like, hey, do you think he's going to watch it? It's 4 hours long. I don't know.
Yeah,
Cross your
I
fingers,
don't know.
man. Cross your fingers.
dude. You might do it. You might do it. And then I show up and you're like, fucking A, he did it. God damn it.
Yeah,
Son of a
holy
bitch.
shit. Good for you, TC.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Hey,
Gone with the
look
wind,
at you.
all of it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
God, fuck,
We,
don't
we
remind
didn't
me.
know at one point, like, I remember, I think it was with 8.5, where you're like, nah, didn't watch it. Stop.
No, you did
Yeah,
watch
I
all
had
8.5.
to. I
That
had
was the
to.
only
Right.
one you didn't watch. But you
I
did
had
watch
to.
all of Persona, which is surprising.
Well, see, I felt bad after that because it was the one. It was like you can punt everyone. I'm like, nah, I shouldn't do that. I'm not. You guys don't. So
Oh,
why
we
should
talked
I?
about this. John,
Yeah.
no carrying over of punts. TC, congratulations. You did not punt one movie in this 50. That's fucking
Nope.
amazing, by the
Yeah,
way.
no, yeah, I'm trying not
yeah.
to for the rest
Yeah.
of it. 'cause
But you do
that's
not get an
true.
extra punt in the next 50.
I'm not going to do it anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
8.5 is the only one
That
you're
one was
ever going to
just
punt.
so bad.
Yeah. Bad and long. Bad and short, you
Yeah.
can do. Bad
Yeah.
and long, not so much.
I think too at that time I was going to work at 7:30 in the morning.
Oof.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was watching these things like at 9 at night and then just not even finishing them and being like, I hated that one so much I don't even care that I fell asleep and didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no more punting. I mean, I'm not going to help you do much of it, but I'll at least show up and do what I'm supposed to do. So
No
that's
more
a big thing.
hitting.
Yeah.
No more hitting.
These people. All right, boys. So this was fun.
Yeah.
Next 50.
So we
We're
have another.
two-thirds
We
of
have
the way done.
another.
So
we
we
have
did
another
100.
200, 150 movies, huh?
So we
Isn't that
did
nuts?
100. That sounds good. And then you could also say we're 2/3 of the way through it. That sounds bad.
It does. It really does. When you put it like that, Daddy, if you can stop, that'd be great.
1/3 of the way through it.
No,
And
sorry.
you said,
I said
yeah.
2/3. We're 2/5. 2/5.
Okay, there you go.
I don't even care. 2/3 sounds horrible.
Sweet. So, anyone listening to this episode, thank you so much for being listeners of
week.
our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
really
very
appreciate
much
it.
so.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
We're all
we
getting
appreciate
lovey-dovey
that.
with each other, like, who cares? What are we doing? Yeah. Oh, wait.
We
There's
usually
people that
shrug
listen.
off the end part because, like, you all already know where to find us and stuff, and it's
Yeah,
like
we appreciate you.
we really do.
Yeah, no kidding.
And if you ever want to talk to us, just email us at the email address you already know, or talk to us on whatever the hell, or just
That's Twitter, I
No,
think you mean.
just-
right?
Just a
Feel
reminder,
fine.
I don't have login credentials, so if you're mad at me, you're going to have to go through another channel.
we may or may not tell TC about it depending on how negative it is.
We don't give TC the keys to the car.
Yeah.
We just don't
No.
do that anymore.
And I don't even want them. That's the best part. I know
Yeah.
myself. I'm not getting those things. I'd be fighting people left and right. Yeah, I mean, no, to echo what Denny's saying, we really do appreciate everybody listening. And, everything we say is take it with a grain of salt because we're a bunch of idiots anyways. And realistically,
yeah.
we're not making film. We're not,
But we're trying to prove. My goal now is to prove that all critics are idiots.
First of all, are you here? Like when you read, I don't know about you guys, but when I read what critics write, I try to say to myself, would I write that? Like ever? Not even just about this movie, but would I ever string those words together in a sentence to try and either like or dislike something? And I'm always thinking to myself, no. I wouldn't. So what I don't like about the critics is that they're so far removed from regular people. That's what's so annoying about it. Because that's like, you guys hear what I say about these movies. It's like a normal fucking barely paying attention type situation, which is 90% of people. I hate to say it.
100% agree.
Right? So like you get these critic reviews and you're thinking to yourself, you guys are in such you're up so far up your own ass. It's incredible. So I think you've probably already proved it, Denny. I mean, critics are, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And
Can't
we're just
believe
trying to
that's a
express
job.
opinions. And I mean, at least one of us loves movies. And the other two like having distractions.
Yeah, right. And I have, and I know exactly who you're talking about here. So,
Yeah.
hey, thank you, everybody.
First 100
we
episode.
appreciate it.
Love you too.
Hey,
Thanks, audience.
congratulations. Love
And
you
hey,
too, man.
audience, just drink with us. It'll be better, I promise, man.
Yeah.
Once a year, we'll do these really drunken episodes, apparently. Just slowly
fun.
degrading down to
It's
nothing.
fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Sweet. All right, guys.
All right, boys. That was
we'll
fun.
start up
Hey.
again. The next 50 next week. Fuck
Hey, what
yeah.
are we
Incendies, right?
watching next?
Oh, yeah, shit. I didn't even pull it up because I had so many other
Incendies.
tabs up.
Incendies. I
Is
guess
that how you pronounce that?
I don't know. I was
So
hoping you
this
guys
guy-
would pronounce it better than I would.
I'm pretty excited about this movie. This is Denny Villeneuve. You know who
This
he
is
is?
Denny.
Oh, really?
Denny?
Yeah.
Yes.
He did Arrival. He did the
he
new
did
Blade
Arrival.
Runner. He did
Yeah.
Prisoners.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's awesome.
I actually just got excited. I'm not going to lie. That's actually
I think it's
pretty-
supposed to be really, really good.
That's pretty cool.
And he wrote it, the scenario. He's credited as a writer as scenario writer. I don't know what that means, but
I don't
He
either.
did, I guess he didn't write the screenplay. He
Jesus
just came up
Christ.
with the idea. I guess.
93% on Tomato and 92% for the audience. Damn, it's going to be good. Didn't do
Awesome.
very well in the box office, but hey.
right now it's rated 127. So it's higher,
Oh,
much
wow.
higher than it was
Oh, wow.
before.
Cool.
The synopsis is twins journey to the Middle East to discover their family history and fulfill their mother's last wishes.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
This is
Sick.
going to be good because I always love these kind of movies where we're like thrown into an element, like a world that we're not used to.
Yeah.
But the storyline is stuff that we're used to, right? So like you get to see all these like really cool location shots with like a normal story of a brother and sister trying to figure out
Making
their
a
family.
lot of assumptions for the
Yeah.
movie.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll
I'm
see.
looking at some of the screenshots right now. I can tell I'm probably gonna like this
Yeah,
one. This is
yeah.
a
Nice.
reality-based show. So,
The show.
I like
You
it.
guys both say shows. Anyway,
well, I mean, as like a
Film. Whatever. Flick.
flick. Sweet. All right, guys. That's it.
all right.
And also, hey, Sean, thanks for making a new theme song. We're going to have a new theme song
Oh,
starting
awesome.
right
Awesome. Hell yeah.
now.
Shawnee boy. My
Yeah.
man.
Sweet. All right, guys.
See ya.
Stop 'em.